Well, yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, Jeff?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean? What I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talking. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, one time in my career, I won on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Salute to Miss Cass, because without her, none of this would be possible. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, young boxers to watch in 2026. Young boxers to watch in 2026. Has the family today. Tuesday afternoon, still early in this big week of boxing history. And I mean, it's going to be a big week. Of course, yesterday we had women's boxing. Today is some young boxers to watch in 2026. Tomorrow, boxing in the 1920s. We're going to take a look at some of the history of the boxing in the 1920s, some of the top boxers that competed in the decade. Thursday, we continue our look at the sanctioning bodies with the NBA/WBA. National Boxing Association became the World Boxing Association. We're going to look at the history of those sanctioning bodies. Thursday. And then Friday for the profile, the life and career of Paul the Punisher Williams. But how's everybody today? It's Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful day outside in Baltimore, Maryland. Like springtime. So I heard some birds out there chirping and stuff. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? We're going to look at some young boxers, some prospects, and then we're going to look at some other young boxers that's past the prospect level. Some of them are actually world champions, and some should at least compete for the championship level this year. So today is all about the young boxers in the sport. Let's salute Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. That's who I'm warming you up for. Salute Just Do. All right. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Focusing on the youngsters, like the clockwise Abdullah Mason, top left, and then Gabriela Fundora, Moses Itama, and B. Norman. All have been champions except Itama, not yet. He should be getting his shot this year. And B. Norman will be back. He just recently lost his title, but a talented young fighter. I have no doubt he will reach championship level again. Ain't no question about it. B. Norman, one of the talented young stars in the sport. Actually, I think he got his title early, before he was expected to. So that's a plus, and he will be back. One of the top fighters at 147, as a matter of fact. Okay? So probably might be back at championship level this very year. But B. Norman is definitely one of the young boxers to watch in 2026. And that's what we're focusing on today. Okay? So, but first, we're going to have our fighters a day. And that's going to be one of the fighters that, one of the greats of the sport when he was a prospect. And we're going all the way with the prospects and youngsters today. Even the fighters today, we got one of the greats. We're going to talk about a fight when this fighter was a prospect. So let's get into it. Today's fighters a day. Like I was saying, one of the fighters in the fight of the day, since we're focusing on young fighters, ended his career as one of the greats of the sport, and the fight of the day will be one of the fights when he was a prospect, 5 fights into his career. Today's fighters a day, Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark, April 19th, 1961. The greatest is first prediction. Cassius Clay versus Lamar Hunt, April 19th, 1961. The greatest is first prediction. I know I could have got a younger picture of Ali because he definitely wasn't no prospect in that picture. Okay. But Ali versus Hunt, 1961. Let's get into it. I think this was Ali's 6th fight. Mike Rem in the building. What's up, Mike Rem? All about the youngsters today, and the fight of the day is when Cassius Clay was a prospect. 5 fights into his career in this one. Let's get into it. Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark. Lamar was the guy that had all those knockouts in a row. Actually 42. Some say 44, some say 42, but it's still the record for consecutive knockouts in pro boxing. Okay, well, let's get into the fight of the day. Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark. This was on April 19th, 1961, and it was the greatest first prediction. Let's talk about it. The Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark fight was a professional heavyweight boxing match contested on April 19th, 1961 at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky, in which the 19-year-old undefeated prospect Cassius Clay, 5-0 with 4 knockouts, stopped the experienced puncher Lamar Clark. came into this fight at 43-2 with 42 knockouts. And that's he lost his first fight, then he knocked out the next 42, Lamar did. Okay, but he had lost a couple by the time he got to Clay. And this was his final fight. Okay? Now, Clay stopped Lamar Clark by second round knockout at 1 minute 27 seconds of the second round, marking Clay's 6th professional victory and Clark's final fight of his career. Yep, this was Lamar's final fight. But he can always tell his grandchildren he was in there with the greatest. This encounter highlighted Clay's emerging predictive bravado, as it was the first time he publicly forecasted the exact round of his opponent's stoppage, taunting Clark pre-fight by claiming the veteran would need a groundhog for mail due to his tendency to hit the canvas. Clark, a 27-year-old from Utah, known for a remarkable streak of 42 consecutive knockouts following his pro debut decision win in 1958, including a record-setting night, 6 knockouts in one night, 5 in the first round and the other one in the second round. Lamar Clark, okay, knocked out 6 in one night, 5 in the first round. And it was against journeymen and wrestlers. He entered with height as a knockout artist in this fight against Clay, where he recently suffered an upset loss to Bartolo Soni, snapping his unbeaten run. Now in the ring, Clay floored Clark twice in the opening round and once more in the second, before referee Don Asbury halted the action, breaking Clark's nose in the process and solidifying Clay's reputation as a fast-rising talent on his path to heavyweight stardom. The fight, attended by a local crowd, underscored the contrast between Clay's amateur honed speed and footwork against Clark's raw power, contributing to narratives of Clay's psychological edge in early career fights. Okay, so it's a fight. The fight. Pre-fight weigh-in and atmosphere. The pre-fight weigh-in for the Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark fight took place on April 18th, 1961, at the Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky, where Clay took the scales at 192 pounds and Clark at 181 pounds. So everything back then wasn't same-day weigh-ins, because this weigh-in was the day before the fight, okay? Now, they had same-day and day before back then. Now, this event marked the first occasion in Clay's professional career where he publicly predicted the exact round of victory, confidently declaring a second-round knockout over the hard-hitting Clark. Now, building anticipation, the press conference featured lively banter that showcased Clay's emerging showmanship. Clay mocked Clark's height and vaunted knockout power, quipping, "When I'm through with him, he'll need a groundhog to deliver his mail." In response, Clark's manager, Marv Jensen, highlighted his charge's aggressive style, stating, "Clark has one thing in mind, and that is to knock his opponent out. I just hope and pray he doesn't hit the ring post with a wild swing. And as for the referee, he better be ready to duck at all times." Held in Clay's hometown, the fight generated a charged atmosphere at the Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky, with strong local support for the 19-year-old Olympian, drawing a crowd eager to see the rising talent against the veteran puncher. Okay, round by round breakdown. Round by round breakdown. Cassius Clay versus Lamar Hunt. Cassius Clay was a prospect in his 6th pro fight. Round by round breakdown. But it only lasted 2 rounds. His prediction did come true. Now, the first round saw Cassius Clay immediately asserting dominance through his precise jab, which controlled the pace and distance against Lamar Clark. Clark landed 14 punches in the first round. Clay landed 14 punches in the round, using his footwork to evade Clark's power shots and frustrate any attempts at closing the distance. As the round progressed, Clay's speed became evident in clean, orthodox exchanges, with no fouls reported. Clay floored Clark twice during the first round. Entering the second round, Clay maintained his aggressive pressure, breaking Clark's nose early with a well-placed left hook that visibly disrupted his opponent's rhythm. This injury, combined with Clay's relentless forward movement, led to one more knockdown as Clark struggled to defend. The referee, Don Asbury, monitored the action closely amid the one-sided barrage, ultimately stopping the fight at 1 minute 27 seconds of round 2 after the final knockdown to prevent further damage. The fight featured clean, technical exchanges between the two orthodox fighters. Now the knockdown and official result. Okay. In the second round, following 2 knockdowns in the first round that set the tone for Clay's dominance, Cassius Clay unleashed a series of punches on Lamar Clark, culminating in a final knockdown in 1 minute 27 seconds of round 2. Clark was unable to rise after being floored for the third time in the fight, prompting referee Don Asbury to wave off the fight before completing an 8 count due to Clark's dazed condition. The official result was a second-round knockout victory for Clay, marking his first professional win by stoppage inside the predicted round, as he had boldly forecasted pre-fight second-round stoppage. During the exchange, Clay broke Clark's nose, leaving the Utah fighter requiring immediate medical attention in the ring as attendants attended to his injury right after the fight. Clay, energized by the stoppage, celebrated with his characteristic footwork and gestures, underscoring his growing confidence in the squared circle. Now the aftermath of Clay Clark. Aftermath. Immediate reaction and media coverage. The knockout victory of Cassius Clay over Lamar Clark on April 19, 1961 at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky drew immediate praise for Clay's prescience, as he had predicted a second-round finish prior to the fight. This was the first time he had publicly forecasted the exact round of a knockout. Post-fight, Clay reflected on the outcome, stating, "My first prediction was against Lamar Clark. I just had the feeling that he must fall. I said he would fall in 2, and he did." This accurate prophecy amplified the excitement among onlookers, with Clark's manager Marv Jensen expressing astonishment at Clay's prowess, remarking, "Clay has the fastest hands I've ever seen on a heavyweight. He's faster than Patterson. This guy isn't many fights away from a title shot, as far as I'm concerned." And this, everybody was just seeing Cassius Clay because this is only his 6th fight, remember? And the other guy's manager said he was the fastest he's ever seen at heavyweight. Salute. We game all night. Salute. Fight of the day is Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark. All about the young fighters today. And our fight of the day is Cassius Clay, the prospect. This was his 6th fight. But salute. We game all night. Cass Sports the Box Historian, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., bringing you all that boxing history. Like and subscribe, please. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we were at the aftermath of the fight. Now, media reports the following day emphasized Clay's dominance and the fulfillment of his bold claim, positioning it as a pivotal moment in his nascent professional career. Now, coverage in the Herald Times newspaper, one of the local papers in Louisville, noted Clay's post-fight interest in challenging the contenders like Eddie Macon, underscoring his growing confidence. Nationally, outlets highlighted the predictive element, with the Honolulu Star Bulletin describing how the 19-year-old Olympic gold medalist dismantled the aggressive Clark, known for 42 prior knockouts. And he dismantled Clark by a devastating left hook and right cross, while also reporting Clay's assertion that he would claim the heavyweight crown within 2 years. Well, actually, it took him 3 because he got it at 64. Now, the fight's intensity was further accentuated by Clay breaking Clark's nose during the exchanges, a detail that underscored his punching power in initial analysis. Now, the impact on both fighters' careers after this fight. It was Clark's final fight, and Cassius Clay only went up from there, remember? Okay, impact on the fight, both fighters' careers. Now, the victory over Lamar Clark elevated Cassius Clay's professional record to 6-0 with 5 knockouts, marking his 5th stoppage win in as many fights. His first fight was a decision, and the last 5 has been knockouts, right? Marking his 5th stoppage in as many fights. This performance propelled Clay toward greater visibility in the heavyweight division, leading directly to his next scheduled fight against Duke Chabadon on June 26, 1961 in Las Vegas, Nevada. By demonstrating his speed and power against a knockout artist like Clark, who entered the ring with an imposing 43-2 record, featuring 42 knockouts. The win further cemented Clay's growing reputation as a promising contender for the heavyweight title. Okay? Now, for Clark, the second round knockout loss, during which Clay broke his nose, proved to be the end of his boxing career. At just age 27, Clark announced his immediate retirement right after the fight, concluding his pro tenure with a final record of 43 wins, 3 losses, and 42 knockouts. The injuries sustained in the fight, combined with the effects of his 2 prior losses in 1960, contributed to his decision to step away from the ring permanently. And that is a serious knockout ratio. We got to know, don't we? Lamar Clark had 42 knockouts and 42 wins for a knockout ratio of 97.6%. Wow. Okay. So the historical significance of this fight. Historical significance. Cassius Clay's 6th fight. The fight between Cassius Clay and Lamar Clark on April 19, 1961 marked a pivotal moment in Clay's burgeoning professional career, as it was the first fight in which he publicly predicted the exact round of his opponent's knockout, a tactic that would become a hallmark of his psychological warfare against adversaries such as against future adversaries. Clay, this would be a tactic that would become a hallmark of his psychological warfare against future adversaries. Now, Clay boldly forecasted a second round stoppage, which materialized when he dropped Clark twice in the opening round and finished him at 1/27 of the second, showcasing his confidence and showmanship early on. This prediction, drawn from Clay's intuition about Clark's vulnerabilities, set the stage for his later verbal barrages against opponents like Sonny Liston and Smoking Joe Frazier. Building on his 1960 Olympic gold medal in the light heavyweight division, the victory over Clark solidified Clay's momentum in his 6th professional fight, contributing to an undefeated streak that propelled him toward a heavyweight title opportunity against Sonny Liston in 1964. 3 years later, held at Freedom Hall. This fight was held at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky, against Lamar Clark. The fight highlighted Clay's exceptional hand speed and footwork, against a power puncher renowned for 42 knockouts and 43 wins, demonstrating Clay's ability to neutralize brawlers through superior technique. This performance was instrumental in elevating Clay's profile, paving the way for high-profile matchups that defined his path to becoming Muhammad Ali and upsetting Sonny Liston as a heavy underdog 3 years later. In boxing history, the Clay-Clark encounter is often overlooked amid Ali's more celebrated fights, yet it underscores key elements of his legacy. The triumph of agility over raw power and the risks faced by fighters with padded records. Clark, entering with a 43-2 record, dominated by knockouts against inexperienced foes, suffered a broken nose, and retired immediately after the loss at age 27, serving as a cautionary tale about the perils of mismatched matchmaking and career overextension in the heavyweight division. Today, the fight's historical value is enhanced by the rarity of surviving footage, with only partial, low-quality clips available that capture glimpses of Clay's dominance, making it a sought-after artifact for studying the origins of Muhammad Ali's revolutionary style. And there you have it, the fight of the day. Cassius Clay versus Lamar Clark. Cassius Clay's sixth professional fight. At that point, he was 6-0, 5 knockouts. Lamar Clark retired immediately after the fight at 43-3 with 42 knockouts. And 42 is still the most consecutive knockout in pro boxing history. He wasn't fighting the best of the best, but they were all pro fighters. Okay? But, you know, remember the other day I told you this? Remember the other day I told you this stat? 40 of the men, of the 42 men that Lamar Clark knocked out, never won a professional fight. 40 of those 42 knockouts were against men that never won a pro fight. Wow. Isn't that something? So he really wasn't fighting at top level. But they were still pros. They had licenses and everything. Fights were sanctioned by somebody. So he has the record, 42 straight knockouts. Okay, so today is going to be about the young fighters. We're looking at young boxers to watch in 2026. Let's get into it. Let's get into that. Young boxers to watch in 2026. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, Thomas Hill? Salute. Young boxers to watch in 2026 today. A lot of them, most of them are prospects, but we also got some other young fighters like Abdullah, Moses Itama, Emiliano Vargas, Carla Dubois, Gabriela Fundora. Some of them are actually champions. Some of them are at contender status, should get their shot this year. B. Norman's on the list. He lost his title, but he's young. I think he actually got his title a little early. He'll be back. B. Norman will definitely be back. Well, let's get into it. Yeah, there's B. Norman, Abdullah, clockwise. Abdullah, Gabriela Fundora, Moses Itama, and B. Norman. Part of his head cut off. Right? Okay. Let's get into the show. Let's go with today's show. We're going to look at some young boxers, basically, today. I think it's about 3:30-ish. Just a little brief talks about them. Move on to the next. So let's get started. First is there we go. Let's get ready to go right. First is Jada Lee Medeiros, female fighter. There's Jada Lee on the right, facing us. Jada Lee Medeiros. Just some young fighters. These are all prospects here. Start up with the prospects. Jada Lee is currently 5-0 with 1 knockout, and she fights at strawweight, 105. Women's strawweight, 105. The Drunk Irishman in the building. What's up, the Drunk Irishman? Another great channel. Everybody get subscribed up to the Drunk Irishman. Drop your link if you want to, so they can go straight over there and subscribe, Drunk Irishman. Take my word for it. Great channel. Okay. First is Jada Lee Medeiros. Okay. 105, women's strawweight, 105 pounds. Okay. Now, Medeiros has a solid amateur pedigree who has shown star quality since moving to Las Vegas. Medeiros is an up-and-comer who is becoming a notable name in the division and also has a strong social media presence with her fights being posted to YouTube and content created for specific platforms. Okay? Yeah, told you just a little brief talks on them. These are all prospects here. Caden Griffith. Here's Caden. Big head Caden. Here's the Drunk Irishman link. Hit that and subscribe. Okay? Then come on back. And start looking at that good content. You might not come back. Subscribe and come on back. Then go back and look at the content at 4. Salute, Drunk Irishman. But Caden is 6-0 with 6 knockouts. 100% knockout rate early. He's 19 years old, and he's a welterweight currently. But 19, yeah, he definitely won't be at welterweight long. He's a growing young boy, right? Did I tell you? Yeah. 19 years old at welterweight. So he'll be a junior middleweight before you know it. 19-year-old welterweight from Joe Diaz's boxing gym in Indio, California, who's garnering some attention, okay? Since signing with Golden Boy Promotions. He fought 4 times in 2025, okay? 4 fights last year. That's how the prospects do it. They used to do it like 20 back in the old days. Mike Tyson fought 15. What was it, 85 his first year? Or was it 86? One of them. He fought 15 times in his first year. Mike did. Next. John Joe Kerrigan. That's John Joe on the right. That look like Ryan Garcia. Is that Ryan Garcia? No. It's John Joe. Mm-hmm. He's currently just 1 fight into his career, 1-0 with 1 knockout. Remember these names, because you might be hearing about some of them. Now he's at junior middleweight, 154 right now. Okay. An extremely talented British amateur who recently turned pro, 1 fight in. The vest should serve him well as he looks to progress in the pro ranks. Kerrigan is a solid boxer who uses his feet well and walks his opponents into his shot. John Joe Kerrigan. Quincy Williams. That's Quincy with his back to it. Quincy Williams. Okay? Quincy is 6-0 with 6 knockouts. 6 fights in, all knockouts. And he fights at welterweight currently. Came into the game as a welterweight. An undefeated welterweight. Williams carried his good amateur form into the pro ranks with him. Most impressive of all is his power. He was stopping high-quality amateurs in national tournaments and has won every fight as a pro by knockout. Quincy Williams. Another female fighter, Stephanie Simon. Stephanie is 5-0 with 1 knockout, and she's at junior welterweight for the women, 140. Now, Stephanie is a high-volume fighter with good power, who has only improved since working with trainer John Pullman. Simon is a French title contender already with an exciting fighting style. Simon should prove a formidable challenge at world-class level, as she is no stranger to most of her peers. Better still, her solid amateur boxing background will ensure she thinks, and not just bangs with opponents. Yeah, a contender already. Just 5 fights in. We was talking about that yesterday. Everybody taking the shortcut nowadays. 5 fights in, she's a contender already. Wow. Okay, Marco Romero. Marco is 11-0 with 10 knockouts. 11-0 with 10 knockouts. He's building a good little knockout ratio. Super middleweight. 154. Super middleweight. No, 160. Wait a minute. 168. 168, right? Super middleweight. 168. Now, Romero, a 20-year-old unbeaten super middleweight, fought 6 times in 2025. His last fight was scheduled for 8 rounds, but only went 2. Got him up out of there, but he was scheduled going 8 already. He stopped Javier Dario Aragon. Okay? Romero is looking like a up-and-coming fighter who might be the best fighter not signed by a major promotion. With 168 pounds, seeing a lot of new faces emerge. Watch out for Romero to begin to get opportunities in 2026. So remember that name, Marco Romero. He's already at the 11th fight mark. So he's getting up there between that little sweet spot between prospect and contender. He's getting up in there. So watch out for him in 2026. Marco Romero. Okay. Benjamin Johnson. Benjamin Johnson is 7-0 with 7 knockouts at welterweight in the welterweight division. The Johnson is a good puncher with a big engine who is trained by Lamont Roach Sr. Okay, Lamont Roach Sr. Heavily avoided as an amateur, Johnson is making waves as a pro already, but probably 18 months or so away from being a contender. Johnson stopped his first 4 opponents in the first round. In September of last year, that changed as Johnson halted Luis Caraballo Ramos in the 5th round. Johnson is a 6'1" and a pressure fighter who should develop nicely. Okay, 6'1" South welterweight. All right. I wonder if he's southpaw or orthodox. Didn't say. Okay. Bear with me for a minute. I gotta come out and go to part 2. It'll take but a second. This is in 3 parts. It'll take but a second. Okay, that's part 3. And there's part 2. Okay, we're right back at it. Right, wait a minute. That's part 3, man. Okay. Here's part 2. All right, let's continue. Now, bear with me for a second. That's part 3 after part 1. Oh, 2 come after 1. Used to, anyway. Okay. I can't find part 2. I'm going to find it, though. Now, that was part 1. But how is everybody this afternoon? We're going to get it together. Well, I know part 3 is there because I've seen that like 4 times. This is getting on my nerves now. It's got to be part 2. And it is. Get ready to say. It's gonna have to go from 1 to 3. Here we go. We're back in it. Okay. So the next one is Samuel Arnold III. There's Samuel Arnold III right there on the right in the face-off. Samuel Arnold III on the right. Just looking at some prospects to watch in 2026. Now Samuel's getting up into that contender territory too, because he's 14-0 with 9 knockouts. Super middleweight, another super middleweight. Arnold was flying under the radar, but he holds wins over Vaughn Alexander and Juan Barajas, 2 seasoned professionals. Arnold, a 6'3" super middleweight, is originally from St. Louis, Missouri, but now resides in Texas. He is willing to take on hard fights and has won them. Arnold was capable of winning multiple ways, which is notable. He can press the action and he can box on the back foot. Okay? That was Samuel Arnold III. Wyatt Sanford. Next is Wyatt Sanford. There's Wyatt. Wyatt is ready to go. Wyatt is 5-0 with 2 knockouts, and he's lightweight. Well, he fights at lightweight and junior welterweight. 130, he's fought at 135 and 140 already in just 5 fights. Okay. He was a 2024 Olympic bronze medalist, and has humbly told boxing scene he has had to readjust his style to the pro ranks. He is currently looking to move down to the lightweight division. Sanford has looked like a pro-ready prospect and has incredible composure for a young fighter. He's a boxer puncher who, like Arnold, has multiple avenues to victory. If Sanford continues on the path he's on, he should be a contender by the end of 2027. Okay, so he's at junior lightweight, but he's thinking about going down to lightweight. Okay, they got him like contending by the end of 2027. So a couple of years away, into 2027. Okay, Taiwo Akbahe. Okay, something like that. Anyway, 18-0 with 13 knockouts. So Taiwo should be just about ready to leave contender status. Prospect status. 18 fights in. 18-0, 13 knockouts. So junior lightweight 140. Okay. Now, he's a larger-than-life character who captivates fans in Africa. He's now 33 years old, which makes it hard to call him a prospect, but he's deserving of getting an impactful fight. When he features on cards, he always offers one of the most memorable moments of the night. It would be a shame if this year, the pressure fighting southpaw has not yet advanced far enough and therefore makes this list again in 2027. He should face a world-class opponent and see where he can go. 18 fights in, 33 years old. Yeah, it's time to, get in the mix or get out. 18 fights, 33 years old. Yeah, it's time to leave prospect status. Taiwo. That was Taiwo. Okay, Justin Valoria. Probably got a late start, Taiwo did. There's Justin. Justin is 11-0 with 8 knockouts. He's a junior lightweight. 130. Junior lightweight competitor. Now, a good power puncher with a nasty check right hook. Valoria is following the fighting legacy of his uncle, Brian Valoria. Remember him, Brian? A former title holder. And Justin has defeated quality opponents in his last 2 fights. At 21 years old, Valoria shows a lot of promise. Yeah, I remember Brian Valoria, former champion. Nishant Dev. There's Nishant. Oh, okay. He's a junior middleweight. 154, right? Now, Nishant Deb could be the hidden gem from the 2024 Olympics. He has stood out among good competition early and is ready to emerge as a top fighter in his weight class. An amateur rival of 2024 U.S. Olympic bronze medalist Omari Jones, Deb seems destined to get meaningful and impactful fights. Deb's great trait is a high boxing IQ, as he has shown an ability to outthink his opponents early on in fights. Jamal Harvey. That's Jamal on the right, the guy in the nose, who's still in the amateurs then. Yeah, that's Jamal, landing the punch. Now he's just 2 fights into his pro career, 2-0 with 1 knockout. Featherweight, 126. Now, Harvey is a 2024 Olympian and one of the most talked about fighters from his Olympic class. In his pro debut, he made his opponent quit in the corner. Harvey, who signed with Most Valuable Promotions, should make a huge leap in ability this year and emerge as one of the top up-and-comers as he did in the amateurs. So they're looking for him to do big things in 2026. Jamal Harvey, okay? And Omari Jones, that's a big name. Omari, expecting big things from Omari. There's him and Eddie. He's with Eddie. He's 4-0 with 4 knockouts, welterweight. Jones is also a 2024 Olympic bronze medalist. He has stood out among the 2024 U.S. Olympians. He fought 4 times in his first year as a pro, winning each by knockout. And Jones is a boxer puncher who is very patient in his approach, yet he is unafraid to throw punches in combinations, okay? Okay, Terry Washington. Terry Washington is next. Okay, Terry Washington. It's Terry facing us with the things flying all the top, at the top of his head. Yeah, that's Terry. Facing us. Terry Washington. Now, Terry is 6-0 with 5 knockouts so far. Junior flyweight. So that's 108. Wow, he's down there, 108. Another American down. We don't get too many Americans down that low, but yeah, wow. Okay. T. Hill, we got another American down there. T. Hill's guy was Mark Tushaw. Mark Johnson was down in that category. So we got another one. Maybe he's the next Too Sharp, T. Hill. Might have another T. Sharp. Remember that? Terry Washington. Junior flyweight, 108. 6-0, 5 knockouts. With one of the best monikers in the sport. Turbo Terry Washington, at 21 years old, is a prominent prospect in the shallow 108-pound division. Washington was a top amateur in USA boxing and is now establishing himself as a puncher in the lower weight divisions. The hopes for Washington are not just winning a title, but to become a multi-division title holder. Given his division and how active he has been, Washington could fight for a belt by the end of 2026. In November of 2025, Washington won a 10-round unanimous decision over Ricardo Astavilca in his first fight scheduled over that distance. Okay, first time going 10 was in November. Moreno Fendero. That's Moreno. And what is he, a heavyweight? Super middleweight. I know he was up there. The weight. 13-0 with 10 knockouts. Moreno Fendero. Super middleweight. At one point, Fendero was at number 2 on this list in terms of up-and-coming prospects. After facing William Langston in a tough veteran brawler who fought Dante Benjamin to a draw, that changed in the fight against Langston. Penderos showed limitations on the inside. He will need to grow from that performance and not be stagnant. Still, Penderos' combinations of power and ability make him a top up-and-comer, even after one tough fight. So he dropped a little bit after that fight, his last fight. Had a tough time in there. Y'all heard of this guy, Elijah Flores. Elijah Flores. He's 10-0 with 4 knockouts. Elijah, 10-0 with 4 knockouts. Elijah Flores. Flores already has a credible world-class win by unanimous decision over former prospect Omar Rosario. Flores' Pro Box TV debut against Luis Hernandez Ramos was a demolition. Flores combines power with talent, and despite very few amateur fights, Flores looks to be a fighter who will be a contender for years to come. Yeah, he's been on Pro Box already. Wow. Okay. So now, let's move on to part 3. Now, watch me not be able to find it after I've seen it like 5 times already. Part 3. And that'll be the end of it. Then we're going to get to some fighters. Some fighters that's actually contenders and stuff. Okay. A couple more prospects. Then we're going to look at some contenders. Some young world champions. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now I keep seeing part 2. OMG, I can't find part 3 now. It would be. Let me come all the way out and go back in. Truly ridiculous. Part 2. Part 1. Murphy's Law. Part 3. Here we go. Okay, this is to finish it off. Dominique Valet. Dominique Valet. Now we're winding down on this part. That's Dominique. Standing up. Dominique Valet. 12-0 with 7 knockouts. Junior lightweight, 130. Valet has flown under the radar, but he's a massive workhorse in the 130-pound division. Valet uses the gym as his biggest weapon. He shrinks down to a smaller weight class and can force a pace while pushing volume on his opponents. Additionally, his last 3 wins are quality as he defeated Rene Alvarado, Brandon Valdez, and Kevin Predahita. Kerry Moana Jr. There's a shot. That's Kerry Moana on the right, in the amateurs. The 9-0 with 9 knockouts. Heavyweight. 9-0 with 9 knockouts so far. Okay? Heavyweight division. A fun Australian heavyweight who has some of the traits of George Foreman. Kerry Moana didn't fight a ton in 2025, as his second year as a pro felt more like a lateral step than real progress in the ranks. Nonetheless, he's a very exciting heavyweight who could be a top name in the sport, okay? In the future, given his ability and the division he fights in. Kerry Moana continues to be untested as a pro, but might be the biggest puncher in the division. Kerry Moana needs to face better opposition, but could be the best heavyweight from his Olympic class, especially since amateur boxing is so different from the pros in the modern era. Okay, next is Kermel Moton. Kermel Moton. That's Kermel. Get his hand raised. Kermel is currently 8-0 with 6 knockouts, lightweight, 135. Kermel, 135. Looking at some young prospects, young fighters to watch in 2026. Kermel Moton. A very slow year for the 19-year-old Moton, who only fought twice. Moton is a promising protege of Floyd Mayweather Jr., who fought 4 times in 2024. But he only fought twice last year. Yet, Moton, a good puncher who can box also, is one of the most exciting up-and-comers who many tab as a future superstar. He holds a win over Anthony Cuba, who is on a winning streak and has fought quality competition. Moton has established himself as a notable up-and-comer. 2026 needs to see him fight more often and make the leap from a prospect to a contender. Over there with Floyd, Floyd kind of put you in that protection racket too. Sometimes everybody always talked about Oscar, but Floyd sometimes run that protection racket too now. Let's keep it up 100 here. David Lopez. David is 8-0 with 6 knockouts. He fights at welterweight. David Lopez. An explosive puncher from Oakland, California. Lopez spent most of last year, 2025, out of the ring. His lone appearance was on December 20th as part of a Misfits boxing card. Lopez is also signed with Misfits Boxing. He has a lot of traits that contribute to superstar status in boxing. He has boxing ability, fast twitch muscle reaction, and the ability to record highlight reel knockouts. He's a violent puncher who doesn't just rely on his punching ability. Rather, he sets up his shots and is defensively sound, looking to pounce. The only thing holding him back is activity. Yeah, not fighting enough. Giorgio Viziali is Giorgio. Giorgio is currently 10-0 with 6 knockouts, and he's a lightweight, 135. Now, Viziali holds wins over veteran James Wilkins and Joe Howard in consecutive fights. Already nearing the point of being a contender, Viziali has been dominant since his pro debut in November 2023. Now, Viziali is a fantastic boxer who also looks to close the show. He looks the part of a future title challenger, given his step up in opposition and willingness to take hard developmental fights early in his career. Giorgio Viziali. Iana Verduzco. Iana Verduzco. Iana Verduzco. Iana is 7-0 with 1 knockout, and she's in the women's junior featherweight, 122. They call her Right Hook Roxy. Verduzco has a lot of star potential. She mirrors many of the traits of boxing superstar Ryan Garcia. She has a big social media following. She can generate attention in different media markets. She is talented. Verduzco ought to be a title holder. It could happen as soon as this year, 2026. Here's a good one. I'm going to remember this name because I've seen him. I like this guy here. I've seen him in action. Joe Iriarte. Remember that? Joe Iriarte. And I've seen Kermel, but I haven't seen too many, but I'm going to put his name in there. Write this down and y'all know. We're going to hear about this guy. Joe Iriarte. That's Joe right there. Bad man. Joe Iriarte. Okay. Joe is currently 9-0 with 8 knockouts. Okay. And he fights at 147 welterweight. Iriarte has moved fast as a pro. With a deep amateur pedigree, the puncher from Bakersfield, California, Ariarte resembles a modern version of the 2012 U.S. Olympian Jose Ramirez, who also hails from California's Central Valley. A little faster than Jose, though, and hits a little harder, too. He has been pro for 2 years and fought 9 times, 5 in 2024 and 4 last year, 2025. He's on the brink of being a fringe contender after beating tough veteran Kevin Johnson. The welterweight Ariarte is an extremely promising prospect promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. Oh, shoot. Oscar got it. Damn. Let me erase his name off here. Nah. Joe's still going to be okay, though. Yeah. Damn, why you got to be with Oscar? But yeah. He's one of my most promising ones on this list, though. Joe Ariarte, right there. Why you got to be with Oscar? Damn. Okay. Kane Sandoval. He'll get like 20 wins, and Oscar put him in protection. Put him in witness protection. You know how Oscar does it. Kane Sandoval is 17-0 with 15 knockouts. Junior welterweight, 140. Now, Sandoval has a style similar to David Benavidez, and now trains with Freddie Roach. He could make for memorable, fan-friendly fights. Sandoval fought 3 times in 2025, all of which was by knockout, or won all by knockout. Sandoval has a fighting style fans love, and the Mexican-American fighter already has a win over a credible name in Javier Molina. Look for Sandoval to make his move in 2026 and contend. You're similar to David Benavidez. Troy Nash Jr. Troy Nash Jr. Troy is 0-1. 5 wins, no losses, 1 draw with 1 knockout. 5-0, 1 draw, 1 knockout. Featherweight, 126. Okay. Now, Nash was the breakout star of the WBC Grand Prix, despite not winning it, with wins over unbeaten prospects Alexander Korigin, and Zoldas Zangisar. Nash exited the tournament after fighting to a draw with Muhammad Kamili, with an advanced scoring system favoring Kamili, who continued in the tournament. Now, the 20-year-old Nash could be a fringe contender by the end of this year, 2026. Not many fighters have elected to fight 3 unbeaten prospects within 6 fights as a pro. Nash has taken a different route than most modern fighters and has established himself as one of the best young fighters in the United States. I hope he ain't with Oscar, and I'll just leave Oscar alone. And finally, the last one is Yuta Sakai. Yuta Sakai. There's Yuta. Just knocked somebody out. See the referee over there waving. You're on the stomach trying to get up. He didn't make it because the referee had waved it off. Yuta done stopped him. Okay? Yuta is 6-0, 6 knockouts. Knocked off 6 of them out. That was one of them right there. Mike Mazik in the building. Just looking at some young fighters today, Mike. Looking at Yuta Sakai. Stopped all 6 of his opponents. So far, that's one of them over there. See him trying to get up off his stomach, and the referee say, "No, you might as well just stay there and then get yourself together, son. It's over." Salute, Mike Mazik. Yuta Sakai. He's 6-0, 6 knockouts, bantamweight, 118. Now, Sakai might be another Japanese breakout boxing star in the greatest era of Japanese boxers right now that we're in. As an amateur, he won gold at the 2022 Youth World Championships. At 20 years old, Sakai looks the part of a future title holder in the bantamweight division. So far, he has faced quality opponents with good records and stopped all of them. Sakai has all the elements to be not just a title holder, but a star, as it is his ability to think inside the ring, not just power, that is most impressive. for a fighter of his age. Good ring IQ. Okay, I haven't seen him, but that's what I heard about him. Good ring IQ. Okay, let's look at some more prospects and then some contenders and some of the young men and women that's already champions in boxing. Okay, some young prospects and some of the young men and women that's already reached championship level, like Abdullah Mason and Xander Zayas and Carolyn Dubois and Gabriela Fondora. We're gonna look at some of them now. Couple prospects, and then we're gonna get to the contenders and champions. But one thing they have in common, they all under age 26. Get it? 2026, under 26. Okay, let's look at them. The first one is just a little short. I ain't gonna bore y'all. The first one is what's the first one? Anybody know? Okay. Okay. Oh, here we go. Ryan Garcia. No. Oh, that's something else. Okay, yeah, Ryan Garcia ain't no prospect. Or a contender. Oh, he's a contender. He ain't no world champion either. Okay. The first one is that Duvall? Oh. Oh my goodness. Jabakir Amataliev. He's just 1-0. No knockouts. First fight went the distance. He's 20 years old, fights in the lightweight division. Now, Shakur Stevens was long considered a southpaw version of Floyd Mayweather Jr. In a similar vein, because of his elite jab and technical craft, Amataliev could be the lefty equivalent of Dimitri Bivol. Looks like him too, don't he? Yeah. Promoter Frank Warren described the young Uzbek as a special talent and promised he'd rise fast. This year, we may get to see the proof. Maybe y'all can't forget that name, Amataliev. The guy with 50 letters in his name. Okay. Marco Verde, did we do him? No, that was Marco Romero. Right. That was his name. Yeah. Okay, I'm on their back page now. Marco Verde, these still some prospects. Just got a couple more. And he's 4-0 with 2 knockouts. 23 years old. He fights at middleweight, 160-pound division. The Mexican youngster is already revered in his homeland, touted by veteran fighters like Oscar Valdez as the country's next great fighter. And some think he could take the mantle from Canelo Alvarez as the next great Mexican fighter. He debuted 4 times in 2025 and is set for a breakout in 2026. Wow, he's like that. He's got 4 fights, and he saying 2026 might be his year. Okay. Oh boy, it gets worse. I'm just gonna start putting these names in the chat in a minute. Okay. Asahuja Madinkujayev. I don't know. Wait a minute. Bear with me. It's gonna take me like 30 minutes to type this, and I'll just quit. Okay. Huja. Okay. Last name. Muygink. Yeah, I'm still typing the same name. Jaeb. There you go. This fighter right here. He's that's him on the right. No, on the left. Did I change it? Yeah. Yeah, that's him on the left. Okay. Now he's 1-0. Just had one fight. Won it by knockout. 24-year-old welterweight fighter. I'm gonna call him AM. Okay. Now, a gold medalist magnet as an amateur, including his triumph at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. AM made his pro debut in 2025 after signing terms with Frank Warren, Queensberry Promotions. His footwork and movement belie his age, and his precision from southpaw could cause carnage even at the elite level as a pro. 2026 could be his year, right? And it might be the year he make people sit up and take notice if they haven't already. Yeah, anybody would remember him. That's from that name if they had, Okay. Well, these are some fast rising prospects we get ready to look at now. Juanita Lopez. Juanita Lopez. There's Juanita. What's up, Juanita? Okay. Juanita is 4-0 with 2 knockouts. 20 years old. Super flyweight. What's that? 130? No. 115, right? Yeah, 115. A Peter Kahn managed prospect. Juan Manuel Lopez de Jesus, the son of famous world champion boxer Juan Lopez, represented Puerto Rico at the 2024 Olympics in Paris. He debuted in 2025 and is signed with Top Rank. When it comes to matchmaking, there are few hands more skillful at developing the sport's next top fighters than the Bob Father and his crew. Top Rank. Been doing it for 50 years. Okay. The Bob Father. At least he ain't with Oscar. I'd rather see him with the Bob Father than Oscar any day. Zaquan Moses. Did we do Zaquan? Yeah, I believe we did Zaquan. And the other list. No, we didn't. Did we? I'm getting my signals crossed here. No, we didn't do Zaquan. Zaquan Moses. That's Zaquan. Getting his hand raised. Zaquan is 5-0 with 3 knockouts. 20 years old. Super featherweight. 130. Zaquan. Okay? So, for all the hype Kermon Moulton gets, there's another youngster out there, Zaquan Moses, who actually beat the Mayweather Promotions phenom in the amateur ranks. Moses has extraordinary backing. His cousin is Shakur Stevenson, right? And he could be a key part of Matchroom's continued progression into the American market. Yeah. Wally Moses, Zaquan Moses, he's Shakur's cousin. Shakur Stevenson's cousin. First cousin. They look like they share grandfathers. That's first cousin, right? Mm-hmm. All right. From good boxing stock, right? Shakur Stevenson, Wally Moses, good boxing stock right there. All right, so now, okay. Okay, bear with me for a second. Momentum. It's one of my languages. Momentum. That means one moment. Okay, Carlos Utria. 14-0, 11 knockouts, 22 years old, super lightweight, 140. Carlos. Okay. There's Carlos. Right there. Yeah. Wait a minute, that ain't Carlos. I don't know what. Wait a minute. We did Carlos. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't change it. I'm all mixed up. Bear with me. I knew I was going to mess up. I think that might be Zaquan Moses. It looked like somebody named Zaquan Moses right there, don't it? Well, that's going to be Zaquan Moses. We did Zaquan. I'll get back on track. Carlos Utria. Okay. But anyway, Carlos Utria. The Colombian broke out from relative obscurity in 2025 to win 5 times in Riyadh as part of the WBC Grand Prix. He won the entire thing with a record of 5-0, 2 knockouts in the tournament. With his knockout power and burgeoning reputation in Saudi Arabia, it stands to reason that he could become a darling of Turki Ali's Sheikh in 2026. There may be no greater backing to have. You may ask Turki about him when I interview him. Let me write that down. Ask Turki about Carlos Utria in the interview. Got it. Well, somebody remind me. All right. Okay, Albert Gonzalez, 15-0. Albert Gonzalez. I don't know where I'm at. Okay, yeah. That was right. There's Albert Gonzalez right there. He actually got his name on the front of his trunks. See? On the left. Albert Gonzalez. 15-0 with 8 knockouts. 23 years old, featherweight. Albert Gonzalez. Al Booger, salute. What's up, Al Booger? How are you today? All right. Al Booger's in the building, y'all. I'm happy. We talking about Al Booger, some young fighters to watch in 2026. We talked about some prospects. Now we're getting up into the contender status and got some champions on here too. Now Albert Gonzalez is 15-0 with 8 knockouts. He's contender, or right there between that sweet spot between prospect and contender. 15 fights, he's getting up in there, right? Yeah, contender. 23 years old, he's a featherweight. Okay, 126. Well, salute Al Booger. Now Gonzalez has an unrelenting style that makes him mesh well with legendary boxing trainer Robert Garcia. In 2025, Gonzalez went 3-0 with 1 knockout and already has his first 2026 fight booked against Franklin Gonzalez on January 17th. Is that Saturday? Yeah. So we get a look at him Saturday. Albert Gonzalez. Put this in there so y'all can put it in y'all notes. Right? Albert Gonzalez is fighting Saturday. All right. You get a look at him. Robert Garcia got it. All right. Ain't the 17th Saturday? Today's the 13th. 14th, 15th, 57th. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah. So we get a look at this guy, and Robert Garcia got it. Got a good trainer. All right. It is. Albert Gonzalez, let's finish him up. Yeah. He's got his first fight for 2026 booked Saturday. After this year, he may no longer be a best kept secret at Top Rank and may make a play for Prospect of the Year honors too. 2026. The Bobfather got it. Okay. Now this was not Omari Jones, Amari Jones. 2 different people. Remember Omari? They're both prospects. No, well, Amari is like a contender. He's 15-0 with 13 knockouts. 23-year-old middleweight, Amari. Now, considering the dearth in quality at middleweight, Amari Jones is just a few wins away from becoming the face of that division. And if one believes Virgil Hunter, he may well be destined to do just that. As Coach Hunter said, Amari Jones is one of the best fighters he's ever trained. And especially since Andre Ward. Wow, those big words from Virgil Hunter. He said Amari Jones is one of the best fighters he's trained since Andre Ward. Wow. Huge words. Okay. So now we're going to the contenders now. All these fighters we're going to talk about now is contenders or champions. Okay. Contenders or champions. Emiliano Vargas. The Fighting Vargas brothers. Emiliano Vargas. Okay. Thomas Hill. Salute. Oh, Thomas Hill better, but salute again, Thomas Hill. Emiliano Vargas is 16-0 with 13 knockouts. 21 years old, super lightweight, 140. With the Bobfather. Contender. He's one of boxing's most improved fighters in recent years. But it's not just his skill set that could see his popularity skyrocket. Emiliano Vargas has boy band looks. What the hell is a boy band look? Emiliano Vargas has boy band looks and could transcend the sport in a similar way as Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya both did before him. Ryan Garcia haven't transcended no sport like no Oscar. What are they talking about? I shouldn't even have read that. My bad. Adam Azim, popular young British fighter. There's Adam. There's Adam. Adam Azim. Okay. You're right on time, too. 14-0 with 11 knockouts, 23 years old, super lightweight. With veteran fighters like Anthony Joshua and Chris Eubank Jr. in their twilight years, much has been made of the next wave of British talent. But in Adam Azim, England has a fighter who could emulate the best the country has produced, thanks to his Amir Khan, his hand speed, ring IQ, and very jab. He fights Gustavo Lemos on January 31st and has already talked up tests against Regis Prograis, chalked up tests against Regis Prograis, talked up tests against Regis Prograis and George Kambosos Jr. Should he score multiple wins in 2026? His name power will only grow. He's fighting Lemos. I think that's on the Xander Zayas card, isn't it? Lemos, I think. I'm not sure, but it's on one of those cards on the 31st. We got three. We got Shakur and T.O. We got Xander Zayas on fighting on that date, and also Bob Graham. Murders earlier. 3 big cards that day. Okay, we talked about some contenders now. Javier Herrera. Okay, there he is. That's him on the left. Right? Okay. He's 17-0 with 15 knockouts, 23 years old, fights at lightweight. You don't know too much about him, and he's at 135 too. Well, inactivity was a curse for Herrera in 2025, fighting only once, but he already has his first fight of 2026 lined up when he faces Ricardo Nunez for the WBC interim lightweight title this Saturday, right? Okay, 2 of them in there, Albert Gonzalez and Javier Herrera in there Saturday. If he wins and rides up momentum, then his high-level Cuban skill set could take up the 135-pound division. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. I like Herrera. I don't think they talk about him enough at 135. You never hear his name mentioned, but he's there. And they better watch out for him. He's fighting Saturday. Yeah. George Lidard. George is 23 years old, 13-0, 8 knockouts, middleweight. The last year, Lidard became the youngest ever British and Commonwealth middleweight champion when he stopped Kieran Conway. Typically, fighters who win those belts step forward for European honors and eventually world titles. Lidard will be no different because of his stiff jab, calm aggression, and mental fortitude. Yep. Among some contenders, Floyd Schofield. Yeah, Floyd Schofield. And there's Floyd Schofield. Oscar, promoted fighter. Floyd is 19-0, 13 knockouts, 23 years old, also at lightweight. Okay, so Golden Boy Promotions has shown time and time again that they won't thrust their stars into meaningful fights. Okay. Now Ryan Garcia is kind of an exception because he fought Tank and he fought Devin Haney. And Williams Zepeda did fight Shakur. Well, that's mostly the fighter wanting to get in there, not Oscar. Oscar had his way. Zepeda wouldn't have fought Shakur, or Ryan wouldn't have fought Tank. In 2026, Oscar De La Hoya's company will be keen to see Schofield uncork his signature left hook in his WBA mandated position, perhaps against Tank Davis if he returns to the ring, or Lamont Roach if Davis vacates. Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas, he's a champion. 22-0, 13 knockouts. 23 years old. Super welterweight, 154. Already a world champion. The popular Puerto Rican prize fighter Xander Zayas is set to fight Abbas Barrow in a 2-belt unification on the 31st of this month. Roberto Ortiz Jr. and Jerome Boots Ennis are typically associated with the highest echelons of the 154-pound division, but it's Zayas who is staking a claim for all the belts first, before Boots or Virgil. Okay? Ernesto Mercado. These are the contenders now. Ernesto Mercado. There's Ernesto. Ernesto talk a lot of trash, but has done too much yet. 18-0, 17 knockouts, 24-year-old super lightweight. Hadn't really fought anybody yet, though. With 7 knockouts in a row, Ernesto Mercado is rising through the WBO ranks at 140 pounds and could break out with a win over a big-name opponent in 2026. He's called for fights against Keyshawn Davis or the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson winner. But even a win over someone like Richardson Hitchens would elevate his standing significantly. I think Teofimo or Shakur only had too much trouble with Ernesto. Jesus Ramos. Got a couple more. Jesus Ramos. Big short. Jesus Ramos is 24-1, really 25-0. He lost Lubin, remember? 19 knockouts, 24 years old, middleweight. Okay. So it's incredible that Mono is still only 24 years old, as it seems like he's been part of big cards for a long while. It does seem like all the big fights he's been in that he's older than 20, but only 24. By this point, Ramos is battle hardened and set to capitalize on a weak division by winning the first championship of his career at middleweight this year. Yeah, Ramos talked about getting the belt this year. Now, the mainstream potential is these last couple. Mainstream potential. Last 4. Abdullah Mason, already a champion. 21 years old, lightweight. Abdullah got a belt too. It will be hard to top a year in which he beat Sam Noakes for his first world championship in a back-and-forth battle, finishing 2025 with a record of 4-0 with 3 knockouts. But Mason is a precocious talent and could become a household name should he put his title on the line against one of the division's bigger names, like Floyd Schofield, William Zepeda, or even the boogeyman, Devontae Davis. And if Mason wins any of those fights, yeah, that might make him a household name. Moses Itama. There's Moses. Moses Itama. 13-0, 11 knockouts, 21 years old, heavyweight. Heavyweight. Britain keeps on churning out some of the sport's best big men, with Moses Itama following in the footsteps of Bob Fitzsimmons, Lennox Lewis, and David Haye. On current form, Itama could provide Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury with the type of competition that belies his years. The long considered one of boxing's best prospects, it may not be long before Itama ushers in a new era at heavyweight and becomes his nation's next stadium fighter. But he got to get past a big name before that happens, and this guy ain't that old neither. Fought this past weekend, Ajit Kabayel. I don't know if Itama ready for that. I just don't know. I don't think so either. But hey, That's why they climb between the ropes. Gabriela Fundora just got 2 more. Gabriela Fundora. She's 17-0 with 9 knockouts, 23 years old, flyweight. Undisputed, right? At least she's the youngest undisputed in the sport right now. But for a second year in a row, Gabriela Fundora outperformed all other women to become uncrowned best female fighter of 2025 and could make it a 3-peat should she go gung-ho in 2026, just as she did in 2025 and 2024. Fundora in the coming years, if not this year, can make her claim as one of the greatest women boxers in the game right now, and perhaps even of all time. Yeah, she's ready right now. She's only 23 years old. Wow. We might have a new growth in the next few years. A real growth. Fundora. Caroline Dubois, younger sister of Daniel. Caroline is 12-0, 1 draw, 5 knockouts, 24 years old. She fights at lightweight. Okay. And Fundora will be getting them up out of there too. Few women's fighters are as gifted as Caroline Dubois. And she showed the United States precisely why Britain thinks so highly of her with a virtuoso performance over Camila Pinata on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua undercard in December. As a recent most valuable promotions acquisition, it may not be long before she's the face of that entire roster. Caroline Dubois. I lied. We got 1 more. It wasn't 2, it was 3. Y'all know who the final one is. Under 26. Already top 10 pound for pound. Future face of the sport right here. Jesse Bam. Future face of the sport. Already top 10 pound for pound. 23-0, 16 knockouts, just 25 years old. Super flyweight currently, 115. Jesse Bam Rodriguez. A pound for pound fighter like Bam would typically never grace lists like this, considering what he has already accomplished in boxing. But as Terrence Crawford recently retired, it's clear Bam is now the #1 ranked fighter in the United States. And with the right push and the right fights, could become a household name who's as celebrated as Bud was at the end of his career. Jesse Bam. That's it. There you have it. Some prospect. Top young fighters to look for in 2026. And remember that name, Joe Iriarte. That's my top prospect right now. Prospect. Yeah, Al Booker. Caroline does have a chance. Yeah, for the men, Joe Iriarte is my top prospect. But he's with Oscar. I just found that out today. Wow. Joe started winning Oscar and put him in witness protection. And that only hurts the fighter. Yeah, there he is. Joe Iriarte. Great young fighter. Joe. Okay. Let's chop it up for a little while. We stayed on this thing till it was like 7 o'clock yesterday. It was going so good, I just couldn't stop it. It's me, Thomas Hill, and Define. We was talking football and basketball. Oh, I enjoyed that last night. Pittsburgh got the mess beat out of them. They shouldn't have been there, no way. The Ravens beat themselves. The guy missed that field goal at the end. 30-6. Houston defense scored 2 touchdowns on them. A pick 6 and a scoop touchdown. Scooped up the fumble. Aaron Rodgers dropped it and he threw the pick 6. Aaron Rodgers is good, but he whine and complain too much, man. He think oh shoot, don't do that. That's wrong. He think every time that they don't catch the ball or something, is supposed to throw a penalty for his player. But how about sometimes the just incomplete pass, Aaron? He's the most whining player in the NFL right now. Aaron Rodgers is, man. God damn. And I'm glad he gone. Yep. 30-6. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Houston. That's going to be a good, well, it might be the best game of the playoffs next week in Houston and New England. Wow. Both of them got them defenses, man. The winner of that might win the Super Bowl. I don't know. San Francisco looking kind of good, too. They beat Philly. I like San Francisco coming out of the NFC. But I think the winner between Houston and New England going to come out of the AFC. I really do think so. And San Francisco went up in Philly and did it. But Philly been up and down all season. They wasn't nothing like they was last year. In spots they were, but not, They were very inconsistent this year. But you're the Super Bowl champion. Everybody plays their best game against you that next year. That's what makes it so hard to repeat. Because beating a Super Bowl champion can make or break your season. You know what I mean? So yeah, when you got that title, you got that target right on your back. So Philly had to go through that, and they didn't handle it too well this year. They did make the playoffs, though. They did make it. So you got to give them their credit for that. And they got beat by a good team that's playing very well right now, the 49ers. They're playing good at the right time, So got to take all that into consideration. I forgot what the link. I started talking about football. Okay, here it is, right here. I started talking about football, but there we go. Yeah. But yeah, I was so glad to see Pittsburgh get eliminated. I don't care who wins, as long as it wasn't Pittsburgh. As long as it wasn't Pittsburgh. Steelers. But Aaron Rodgers is first ballot Hall of Famer. But I got him coming back next year because he played pretty good this season, 42 years old. Some guys just like that, man, Like Tom Brady, look how long he played. And winning Super Bowls, he was like 43 or something. He wasn't just out there, he was playing high level. So I got Aaron Rodgers doing that. Now, Joe Flacco need to sit down somewhere. He like 40 and out there just throwing pick sixes every time he get in the game and all kinds of stuff. He need to sit down. Yeah. Okay, so I got remember the back-to-back in the 1960s in the Olympics, Muhammad Ali, 60, Joe Frazier, 64, George Foreman, 68. Joe Frazier was really incredible, man, because he wasn't even supposed to be on the team. He got beat in the final at the Olympic trials, but the way they do it is the runner-up in the Olympic trial always get to travel with the team as the alternate, right? But Joe Frazier wasn't even going to go. He was so upset. I think it was Buster Masters that beat him. And he had beat Buster a couple times in the amateurs. He was so upset he wasn't going to go, but his manager, Yancey Durham, talked him into it. And remember, guess what? Buster Masters got hurt. So Joe actually ended up competing like heavyweight in the amateurs. So he got all the way, was it like 4 or 5 fights or something back then to get to the final. And he got all the way to the final. He broke his thumb on his left hook hand in the semifinal, right? But he didn't tell nobody. So that was amazing. He competed in the final fight with a broken thumb on his left hook hand and won it. And just think about that, though. He didn't tell nobody because he knew they would pull him out of the fight. So if he didn't tell nobody, what else he didn't do? He didn't get no medical attention on it, right? They went in there and fought, because if he had got medical attention, he would have had to tell somebody. He wouldn't have been in there fighting. Well, that's amazing. Think about that part of it. He had to get something from somewhere, but minimal. He didn't get the attention he should have got for a broken hand because he didn't tell nobody. So if he got any medical attention, it was minimal. And he went in there and won the fight, right? Joe Frazier, I thought that was amazing. And then George Foreman in 68, he was 18 years old with just 21 amateur fights. And when he got to the final, he was in there with a Russian that was 30 years old, 12 years older than Big George, had over 200 amateur fights. Here's Big George, 18 years old with just 21, and Big George sparked him out, stopped him, and won it in 68. So that was amazing. Those three guys that win them back to back to back like that, and then be connected at the pro level like they was, all champions, all fought each other. So yeah, but Joe Frazier was the amazing of all, to go in there, not just a broken thumb, on his left hook hand. You know about Joe Frazier, that left hook, with minimal medical attention because he didn't report it to nobody. He might have had somebody he knew and trusted to wrap it some kind of way or something. He didn't get the attention that you're supposed to get for a broken thumb because he was afraid they would pull him out of the fight. So he kept it to himself and went in there and won it. That's amazing. That's the part people miss. He didn't tell nobody. He didn't get the proper attention to it. They still went in there and fought and won, right? Truly amazing man. Smoking Joe Frazier, man. And then Muhammad Ali, of course, in 60. Remember, he got it wrong. Well, Cassius Clay. Let's talk about that one. Cassius Clay in 60. Olympic gold. Out of Louisville, Kentucky. Yep. Then it was the other guy, remember? I think I told y'all this story. This guy was blind in one eye. And people wonder how he got past, because you got to take the eye exam before the fights. And what he would do, he would always make sure, plus the charter's already up when you go in there, so he probably peeping at it, but he would always make sure his bad eye got covered first. And while the doctor was having him read the lines with his good eye, he would memorize the entire chart. So when they had to cover up his bad eye, he couldn't see nothing, but when the doctor told him read lines, he already had it memorized. Ingenious, right? I don't know how he even did that though, because it ain't like you sit there and get like 15 minutes to read the thing. They say read line 2, you got to read it right then. But when he had that bad eye covered, that good eye looking, he was peeping and memorizing the entire chart. So when he covered up that good eye, he couldn't see nothing. But when the doctor say read the line, he had it memorized already. Passed the test every time. The vision test. Yeah, that was crazy. That was ingenious. But it worked. I can't remember what his name was though. Joe Frazier was legally blind in one eye too. I think he could see a little out of it, but he was legally blind in it. Mm-hmm. I think on the farm when he was little, they had a big giant hog. I think he was teasing it or taunting it or something, and the hog caught him in the eye or something. Yeah, he started running, couldn't get away. Oh, shoot. I had Muhammad. Then we're going to talk about Muhammad's Olympic journey briefly. In 1960, he was the first of the back-to-back. And that's something though, had them three straight Olympic golds for the United States, and then all became champions at the pro level, all fought each other. Wow. Three legends. Okay, Cassius Clay. 66 years ago, it was in 1960. Okay, September 5th, 1960. Cassius Clay took Rome, an Olympic gold. And there's Thomas Hill. All right. Okay, what's up, Thomas Hill?
Oh man,
How you doing today?
taking it easy today. I went to bed
Yeah.
real late. Somebody called me early in the morning. You know, where they are, it's really early, but where I am, it's still late. And
Yeah.
I was up for a while. I didn't go back to sleep till about like 7 or something. So I'm just
Mm.
now getting my bearings again.
Yeah, you just getting it together. Yeah. Yeah. How you like? Do you recognize any of them young fighters? You got any picks on the prospects you think gonna step out there this year?
um, I think he covered it well. I think that there are some fighters. I think Cologne's gonna make a lot more noise this year. I
Yeah.
think that Abdullah, you know, he's on the cusp of being a star, so I look for him to make more noise. I like Asalisa Iglesias. I think he's gonna make more noise.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a foreign fighter, man. I forget his name, man. He's at the 40 division. I think
40.
he's gonna make some noise.
Hmm.
Um, of course, Bam is looking really good, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
It's
looking
hard to
good.
believe he's still as young as he is, man, for what he's done. You think he's like 30 or something, but he's only
Hey,
25 years old.
yeah, 25, man. And
It's hard
Junto
to imagine.
is younger too. So
Yeah. That's so
you
true.
know, and I think that for Junto and especially, I think that now he gets the fight that he been looking for and that, you know, has been evading him because of his last performance. I think people don't recognize that, you know, there are sometimes matchups that, you know, with
Yeah.
fighters that just aren't gonna go anywhere. They're gonna be there. They
Yeah.
came to fight. He
Right.
he he that night, Kaz, if you saw the fights, he
Mm-hmm.
had the harder of the two
Yeah.
opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Now the guy didn't have a name of the other guy, and I'm not really big on the other guy. I've never been big on him, Picasso.
Yeah.
He's just tough. But this other
Right.
cat was tough, and he was driven, like he was determined to win the fight.
Yes, he
And I
was.
thought that all fight long, and I don't know what people look at. I thought all fight long, even though he was bringing pressure, he was getting tatted up and he was throwing shots. But you know, a lot of his shots were just smothered. They
Yeah.
wasn't really effective, but
A lot of
it
people don't look
looked
at that.
effective. You
Yeah.
said what?
A
You
lot
said
of
what?
people
Kat?
don't look at that. They look at the aggression and call it effective just because you're aggressive. They don't look at what you're doing during the aggression, you know?
Thank you, Cass.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. And that's a criteria in which they judge on effective aggression.
Mm-hmm.
If
Not just
your aggression isn't effective, are you going to really get points for it?
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, right?
No.
So I've seen this man on the back foot. He usually doesn't fight on the back foot. Look spectacular. The only damage he took was a head clash.
That's it. That's
He,
all I saw.
man, Cass, I don't understand. And they do this because they like Inoue. So they want
Right.
to discount him. Like,
Devalue Nakatani.
devalue him. And why do we do this, man? This is the craziest thing. Like, if we love the sport, we want to see the fights.
Right.
And
Go
the
for
people we
that
talk.
full strength, you know?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I
Go
said
for that full strength. You don't want none of them coming in with somebody talking negative about either one of them. Man was in a tough fight. You're going to look a certain way against certain fighters.
man, you want fighters to be in these fights, and then when they get them, you talk bad about them for being in the fight. You want fighters to make the fights, and then when they're trying to make the fights, you justify why they don't deserve to fight. It's like rush, rinse, repeat over again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, Kaz, it's like I've seen people say and do things because they like a certain fighter. And they trip off of fans of another certain fighter, and then they use that to cage a little bit of the rage against the fighter. I don't understand it.
I see that all.
So I think he's poised to do. They're gonna get that fight, and I think that people are gonna think that because of that last fight, he ain't got a chance in hell. And I think he's gonna show people that I'm the goods. Now he may not win that fight, but it's gonna be a hell of a fight. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, there's a lot of talent though, man. I mean, lot of talent. I think Scooter Davis is a very good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Amato Vargas is not Amato Vargas. I'm sorry. Emiliano is a very good fighter. I wish he would really try to get somebody in there to work on his defense, but he's a really good fighter.
Yeah, they all of this. Vargas has had that problem. No. What causes that?
You know, I'm not absolutely sure. I don't know what the amateur backing is, but if they had a lot of amateur fights, I think in there you have to get points. And you know, you can't style in there. You got to just be effective. Aggressive. You got to be aggressive. My bad. Yeah. And I know that because I watched the fight, man, and I saw a fight. This was a highly, pushed fight between two amateurs. They were at the Apex, and what I saw didn't mirror what the judges saw.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it from what I view judging, and I don't know what they view on the amateur scene, but what I saw, one definitely was getting rounds for not winning the rounds. And I'm like, yo, how is he getting that? And, you know,
they look at the same criteria. They just got more judges. I think it's 5 in the amateurs, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, honestly, I think there should be 5 in the pros too. But I think they also should change the vantage points of all judges. I don't think judges should be where they are on the ring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think that they should be placed in a screen room where they could actually see it on TV, so they can get the true angle of it. Because, you know, when you're in the ring, I mean, watching it on the TV, you get the true angle for what you see. Like, and you know, it is what it is. But I mean, it's just, I think that's what maybe leads to them fighting that way, and they have to get adjusted to the pro game. And
that's true.
In the program, you gotta be a little bit more.
And you can be more patient. You got more time and everything.
You got more time. You got more rounds.
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, I think, and that's the transition. But I mean, it's a lot of young talent. I think it covered all of the young talent too, man. I mean,
you ever seen Joe Ariarte? What I was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's with Oscar. Oscar De La Hoya. I forgot his last name for a minute.
Yeah, my man Ant McQueen popped in. I was just about to say he got a Japanese fighter that he likes, El Mexicanito. I don't know how old he is, but that dude is tough too.
A Japanese fighter?
Yeah, man.
Oh. His nickname is El Mexicanito because he
El Mexicanito.
He grew up being a fan of the Mexican style. He's got a Mexican trainer. He speaks fluent Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So they call him the Little Mexican.
Despite the fact that he's
Japanese. When he fights, he wears the red, white, and green.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen him yet.
Dude can scrap.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
I forgot.
I see our book is saying Caroline has a chance. Is that against Alicia Baumgartner?
I think he was talking about as far as the future face or something.
Oh, future faces?
I was talking about Gabriella Fedora when he said that. Yeah.
I think that I think Caroline's got a good chance.
Yeah.
Of being a real draw in the sport, because you know how those UK fans do.
Yeah.
They support their fighters.
Definitely.
They travel well too.
Yep. They sure do. So yeah, he got a good chance just because of that.
Yep.
Factor, yeah.
And with the rise and popularity of women's boxing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Where it is now. She just signed with Jake too recently, I think.
And the frequency in which they fight too, that they usually fight a lot more often than the men do.
Yeah, they do.
They got no choice.
Oh, yeah, they have no choice. You're right about that.
Pennies.
That may change soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the popularity keeps increasing.
That's true.
that keeps increasing, and they keep putting on these big, high production events,
Mm-hmm.
then one could only assume that the economics will start to
Have to.
change
Yeah.
in women's boxing. With the men, the reason why they fight once, maybe twice a year, once they hit the
Mm-hmm.
championship level, is because
Yeah.
these guys want to protect their investments.
Yep. That's it.
The promoters,
That's what we was talking about that yesterday. Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the days of the champions and those guys that are high level fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson fighting what was it, a month, over
Yeah.
and done with.
That's over.
You don't want to give your guy more opportunity to succumb to any threats. So it's like, nah, we're gonna have him fight once, maybe twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a pay-per-view, cover whatever cost we can, and hopefully we turn a big profit. So with women's boxing, if it continues to grow as it has been, that may be the case with the ladies. But
Mm-hmm.
the past couple of years, that hasn't been. These women have had to fight the very best of the best that their respective divisions offer.
I know. Yep.
That's why I think that conversation about resume as it pertains to women's boxing is a very tricky thing. Because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they didn't fight anybody. I mean, well, relative to the men, maybe not. But they are still fighting the very best that their
That's right.
respective divisions have to offer. And
That
they
is
have
so
no
true.
choice but to do so because they can't get away with what a guy like Canelo could. Canelo is so damn popular, he could fight Rocky Fielding and make exorbitant amounts of money. He could
Yeah.
fight Yildirim or, you know what I mean? Any of these
Mm-hmm. It's
these
still
guys who
top
aren't big names.
pay-per-view. Yeah. And still had one of the best pay-per-views of the year. Didn't matter who it was.
And the ladies, they're just not there yet. But I believe that they're on their way.
They
Because look
making
at the
good progress.
frequency in which we've seen women taking part in these big events,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the inception of MVP.
Oh yeah. That's been huge.
Big time.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would have saw an all-women's card on Netflix. Come
I
on,
know.
man.
At the
That's
Garden,
amazing.
too, wasn't it?
At the Garden too,
Yeah.
and that's a great point too, Cass, because you got to think about how many of these men,
Yeah.
champions, that
Mhm.
haven't even fought in the Garden.
Right.
Like Teofimo Lopez has been fighting at the Hulu Theater,
Mm-hmm.
and this dude was a
Mhm.
former unified champion, the current 140-pound champion. He's going to be
Mhm.
fighting at the Garden headlining versus Shakur Stevenson, but look how long that took.
Look how long he's been fighting and been a champion, And this is his
Yeah.
first time.
So everybody's not fortunate enough to fight on those big stages, despite the fact that they're champions.
Yeah,
So
that's
for
true.
these ladies to do something like that in Madison Square Garden, that's
Mhm.
nothing to sneeze at. We're talking about 20,000 people
Yeah.
at capacity,
And all women.
all women, versus the Hulu Theater, which is about 4,000, maybe 5,000.
Yeah. Wow.
And you gonna go to that fight?
Which one?
The T.O. and Shakur fight?
I thought about it, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Angelo hit me up. He was asking me what's going on with that, and I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know, bro. I'm strongly considering.
Yeah.
I should have went to the one that just took place this past Saturday at the Barclays.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man, they had some reasonable tickets on sale last
Mhm.
minute, $56.
That ain't bad.
Not
Oh.
bad at all, especially considering the fights that we got.
Yeah.
That main event was terrific. Them guys were going at it. Dalton Smith and
Yeah.
Subriel Matias.
That was worth the
$56
50
to
right
pay
there.
to see that. That's cheaper than the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is $60.
Yeah, ain't that something? That was worth it right there. That one fight.
Yeah, that was constant action, man. Constant action.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the pay-per-view.
So, are you thinking about going though, Ant?
I'm considering it. The only thing about going to the events that deters me at times, T Hill, is the traveling and then the driving after the event.
Oh
Because you
yeah,
know how it is with these
Oh
boxing events.
God.
They don't end until
I know.
midnight.
Yeah, yeah, they
And it's
do
not a
No,
drag
long
them
that's
on.
drive
a
from here
factor.
to Madison Square Garden where I'm at. I can get to Madison Square Garden in about 35 minutes, but
With
at
the
1 in the
traffic.
morning, I don't feel like making that drive.
Mm-mm.
I'd rather be able to just like, hey, the fight's over. I could just like roll over, go to bed, or
Right.
watch a movie till I fall asleep or something.
Yeah. Already in the house.
Already in the house.
Yeah.
And I could be nice and comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
Go to the
take so long in
restroom.
between the fights. It don't have to be that way, you know. They just drag in between. They just drag them on,
Yeah, that's
talk
true.
about them, and then they gotta go look at the odds and all that kind of stuff. And then they sometimes they interview the fighters. They show the interviews on tape between the fights and do all that before the thing even starts. Then just hit the fight, go to the next one, get it over with.
Or I would even suggest if they are gonna do these interviews,
Yeah,
which I don't mind, but
yeah,
for the people in the arena, can we get some love? Because when
yeah.
you're at the fights and they're interviewing,
You don't, yeah,
let's say Richard Hitchens, for instance,
You can't
you
hear
don't
it.
hear him
you
speaking.
don't see all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
You
true.
There are
see him
some
doing it
venues,
if you
You
can
don't hear the
spot
beat,
him, but
but you can't hear it, right?
but there
you
are
can't
some
hear it.
venues that are
Yeah.
doing that now where when
Oh
they
yeah.
segue off, when they segue off
Okay.
to an interview, they pump in the speakers so that they
Oh,
can hear
okay.
the interview. I think all sports venues should do that. I think that they all should do that, man, because like you said, you're
Yeah.
supposed to be getting an experience that unlike the experience of the person that's viewing it on television, and you're not getting that experience.
Yeah. And
You
they want
should
you to
get
come
that.
to the arena. They should give you that kind of stuff. You
They
know,
should pop it on the screen
they give you
and
more
pipe it in
incentive to
this.
stay home and watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of events where that's what it is. They zoom
And
into the interviewer and
yeah.
and the one who's being interviewed, the interviewee, and then they pipe in the sound so that you can catch the thing and you look at it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's one of the things that they should do to accommodate. Like Ann said, you have invested in the event.
Right.
You should not be excluded
From
to
anything.
certain things other than anything. Nothing should be out of exclusivity to you. So I agree with that. I fully agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's a pitch that people should make.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the last fight I went to, T Hill, was Boots Jonas,
Mm-hmm.
and they conducted so many interviews, none of which we could hear. They interviewed Shakur, and I'm watching him
Right.
because he's several rows away, but can't hear nothing. They interviewed
Yeah.
Richard Hitchens. I'm seeing them interview, but I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
In the
So we
arena,
got-
they got the DJ playing, and he's hollering over the mic.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's why they definitely got to like bring a little bit of more symbiosis to the whole event so that you can actually get the experience of the interview. You shouldn't just be that's like eye candy. Putting stuff there, you know what I'm saying? You would love to partake of it, but all you can do is watch it while somebody else gets to partake of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
They do
why.
it at the basketball games because I go to a couple Knicks games every year, and when they do the interview after halftime, or when they do the interview after the game, post game, you can hear them. But at these boxing events, for whatever reason, they don't. And there's several interviews going on. And then in between, and it gets to a point where you have people just walking around on the concourse or just congregating by the concessions or just smoking in the bathroom. You gotta wait. There's so much downtime in between the fights.
Yeah, I know.
And usually that's when the interview. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should entertain. For as long as the people are there, they need to be entertained, and not just with DJ sound and music and things like that. There is the place for that, but then we got interviews being conducted. I wonder if they do that overseas.
Right.
I might have to look into that because I brought my brother with me to that fight. T Hill, he fell asleep in between fights. I had to wake him up like, "Yo, Boots is about to fight," because he had never seen Boots fight before, like not even on TV. So his first time seeing him was seeing him live. And I'm like,
what did you think about that? What did you think about the whole experience?
you thought it was cool, except for like the downtime, because
The
he's
downtime.
nodding off.
You guys
Yeah.
were there for a long time, huh?
Yeah, quite some time, and we were there during the prelims as well. So
Oh
Mhm.
we
wow.
were there before people started filing in.
Yeah.
It was like us. There was a couple of people in there, and then the other people who were there early, they weren't seated. They were just walking around on the concourse.
Mm.
People were taking pictures. I seen what's the name up there in the concourse. A lot of people were chopping it up with him. Greg Hackett, he was
Oh,
Okay.
out
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Should stop by, man. Introduce himself to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Ant McQueen.
Isn't
Eh,
he from up there, Philly?
Yeah, he's from up there. He's up there in Philly.
Okay.
Yo, so if you were to go though, Ant, who would you take with you if you were, or would it just be you and Angelo?
it'll probably be me, Angelo. Probably just be us two.
Bet we got to get you to that fight, bro.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of wanna go, kind of don't. You know what I mean?
I know that time is a beast, and like you said, that travel, man, New York hits different with the traveling.
No, the traveling's not that bad. Like I said, it's only about a 30-minute ride, if that. Because I can
Okay.
literally just go through a tunnel, and I'm right there on the. Because Madison Square Garden is on the west side, downtown. It's like
Mhm.
on 33rd Street.
Yeah.
So it's not a far drive. It's just the time in which the
Right.
drive would be occurring. It's like
Yeah.
after midnight. After midnight, I don't want to do nothing,
Yeah.
especially after I've been sitting down for 4.5, 5 hours. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people. Like when I do go to fights, I'm going to see the prelims, everything. Like I don't
Yeah.
just show
Me
up for
too.
the
Yeah, I want to see
co-main
the
and the main
whole
event.
thing that I paid for, everything. That's
Exactly.
hmm That's what I'm paying for. All the fights. I don't care how many it is. I want to see every one of them. That's what I went to. Was
Nah,
the
Ant really gets in there and checks out the prelims, man. And a lot of people don't appreciate them prelims, but sometimes them prelims be having some bangers on there.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that, and then there's also this is one thing that I try to keep in mind is that the guys that are on the main event, when they first started out, they want somebody else's prelim.
That's right. Yep.
So I want to be abreast to who it is, especially if somebody stands out. Like I have a
Mm-hmm.
list that I keep on my phone,
Yeah.
fighters to look out for. So every time I see somebody on a prelim, or even if it's on the
Mm-hmm.
main portion of a card, if
Right.
I'd never seen them before and they look interesting, I write down their name,
Mm-hmm.
what division they fight in,
Yeah.
and
Good
if
idea.
they're pro or amateur. Because sometimes I'll watch amateur fights. Like I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching what's his name a little bit from I think he's from Philadelphia, Salim Bey. Then there's the other
Yeah,
one,
Salim Bay.
Marcus Luther, a couple of other guys from the amateurs that's making noise, and then
Mm-hmm.
the gender too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I'll write the women down too on my
Yeah.
list. But I just keep the little list, so then that way, in the event that I see them in a more high profile
Right.
event, then I'm like, okay, I know who this is. I'm not like who.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like a lot of fans would be. They don't
Or
watch
just
the
under the
field.
assumption that somebody is a bum because I hadn't heard of him. Like I try to
Mm-hmm.
keep that out of my mind.
Yeah. I
No,
know.
no, no, no. That's what we were talking. Well, first we were talking about the young talent. So since you said that, that was a perfect segue into who you would be checking in for, because that's what the show was about. So, what are some of the names that you are looking for?
This
Ant?
year, 2026. Yeah.
All right, let me pull up my list because I got a couple. It's got a couple on here. On the women's side of things, Nat Dove. I like her style.
Mm-hmm.
Breon Gorham from Texas. I really like his style.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Marksman. He fights at lightweight.
Yeah.
He looks pretty sharp. He's pretty promising.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Joenly Hernandez. We got to throw him
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah.
at 160. That dude is looking like a
Yeah.
force. I don't
I'm
like the way
serious.
he did my man Kyron Davis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've got I'm quite fond of him. So I like any of these dudes that aren't supposed to win, but they always find a way to either win or at the very least be competitive and give a great account of themselves.
Yeah.
So I always got an appreciation for guys like that. Michael Gamble is another one that I got on my list. Giovanni Marquez, another guy from Texas, Behind the Hands TV. Shout out to my man Mo City Menace. He put me on to him. That dude can fight, man. He's pretty scrappy. He pissed me off in his last fight though, because I felt like he could have made the fight a little bit easier on himself. But you know how it is with some of these young guys when they're so accustomed to getting stoppages. At times they can just throw all tact and all things tactical out of the window, and they just look to just press guys out and just beat them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite fighter at 140, he's not necessarily a younger guy, but he's like on the cusp. He's like in the top 10.
This is the guy I was talking about, Cash.
Arthur Biarsanov.
Okay.
That's my guy. That's my favorite fighter at 140, the Czechia wolf.
Let's spell his last name.
Biy.
Okay.
Arslanov.
Okay, guys.
Arthur Biarsanov. Well, sometimes they might have him listed under like I think like Arthur Mavladin or something like that.
Okay.
Or Mavladin, Biarsanov. I can't remember exactly, but he's for whatever reason he's got like two names that he goes by. Probably because the pronunciation.
Where's he from?
Quite difficult.
Yeah.
He's originally from Russia, but he fights out of Canada.
Canada. Okay. He's from Russia. I thought he was Czech.
Yeah.
He bears somewhat of a resemblance to another Arthur, Beterbiev.
Oh, really?
He looks like a miniature version of Arthur Beterbiev.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when you were saying that.
No, but check him out though, Kaz. This dude he's a wrecking ball, man.
Yeah, I like his style. He applies a lot of pressure, but he does it with technique. He doesn't just go out there just sloppy, just absorbing punches. He does a really good job of maintaining range. Really good job of positioning himself, cutting the ring off.
Yeah.
Really good on the front foot.
Sound like Beterbiev.
But he's measured on the front foot. Very deliberate.
Yeah.
Stephen Navarro, he lost recently, but he's another guy that I'm still high on.
Yeah, I've seen Stephen.
Yeah, down there at junior bantamweight. Carolyn Veer, the featherweight woman, she's pretty damn good. Myquan Williams, another guy that I'm a fan of at 140. He took his loss to Antonio Moran, but then he bounced back on the Pro Box card recently. So we got some really good fighters out there. And then Nishant Dev, we got to mention him because you don't frequently see guys from India coming out like that.
No. Yeah. Nishant, I like him.
Yeah. He's looking really promising. And he was a part of a program that was spearheaded by Ronald Sims.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Coach Ronald Sims.
Wow.
So that's how he learned how to box out there in India.
Yeah.
And then Ronald Sims just coached down.
Ronald Sims went to India?
Yeah, I guess Ant saying he put together.
They had a whole program out there.
Okay. Wow. And this guy came out of it, so it was a successful. He got one good fight out of it so far.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's one name that Ant didn't say that I know he's big on. That's young as well too, and that's Elizabeth Ashoba. She was recently in a fight where she was fighting. I think it was like a battle for the regions where they're from, and
oh really?
I think she got into the final, but took the L to somebody. But it was a very good fight. She's something else, man. She's like, I think she's like 6'1". Not sure.
Wow.
Long reach. She has a beautiful like jab, man. What weight class is that? Is that 130?
She's at
And
130. She fights kind of similar to Boots. Like she can switch
Yeah.
hit. Like T Hill says, she's got really good length. She's got like a Tommy Hearns build
Yeah.
as a woman. Like it's amazing. Like seeing her frame. It's like damn. Um, she can switch hit, uses her jab well. When she's orthodox, she got a really strong right hand. There was one fight that she had. Oh my lord, she hit this woman with a cross dead on the nose, right on the button. Just busted her wide open.
Wow.
yeah, she's vicious, man. You want to
She
check her
recently
out
signed
too.
with MVP as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
did she?
she's
So
trying.
Jake is snatching up all the women's talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She
Yeah,
is.
yeah, she's
Yes,
trying
she
to
is.
position herself to get in the mix, man. I think that's what Jake Nish is. And I think that, like Ant said, it's only a matter of time before they increase the popularity of the sport. And some of these women, man, man, they're putting together, like he said about Caroline, man. Caroline has a backing. She has a nation behind her, but she also has a skill set that people can get behind. She's not afraid to put her punches together, man. And she's mean. She's mean in that ring. Like that,
I
he
like
told
that
me.
point about the skill set, T Hill, because Caroline is one of those few fighters, and I guess you could say this is somewhat starting to diminish or just like erode at this point. Just like the notion that when you see women fighters that they're gonna fight like girls, like stereotypical girls. Like Caroline, I've heard people say, "Man, she fight like a dude."
Man, no,
So
real rap.
Yeah. About her.
just like with the not just the meanness, but just like the technique. Like she's not slapping when she's throwing punches; she's turning them things over. The jab is firm as hell. Um, Defensively, I think that she's pretty sharp, responsible. That last fight that she had, that was a whitewash. I was, man, I was under the impression that she was going to stop that woman, but that was like a clean 10 zip. I would like to see her in one of those 3-minute round fights.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I think it suits
Well, I
her
wish you were
style.
here. I wish you were here yesterday, man, because we had a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get off till like almost 4 o'clock.
About the minutes. Yeah. I would like to
But
see
but
that.
but that was one of the things that we were speaking of, man, because in order for them to also command somewhat the similar type of money, you got to place yourself in similar type of standards, and the rounds have to increase to 3. Because like Kaz was saying, you got that beginning and you got that end, but you need that middle ground in the round where true champions and true like greatness is established in that in between session of the round. And it helps you to like start off and taper down and pace the fight. But we was thinking that, and also like odd number of rounds.
No, in a minute. That's a good word though, pace, T Hill. The way you put that, yeah.
Yeah.
You got the beginning and the end, no middle,
Right.
Yes. And
Man, I had my concerns about Alicia Bumgarner's conditioning, because in previous fights we've seen her look a bit ragged down the stretch. But I would have to say, to T Hill's point about the pace, it seemed like that extra minute, it afforded her to take her time.
Yeah.
But she wasn't putting everything into a shot, because she likes to throw power punches, but she wasn't putting everything into every shot. She was out there establishing the jab, working behind that, and then mixing in the power shots when she saw fit. But when you got those 2-minute rounds, oftentimes with the women, their fights almost play out like amateur fights, where it's like they're just trying to get the work in, opposed
Right,
to
exactly. We was talking about that earlier today.
the quality of the work. It's more about quantity over quality with those 2-minute rounds, because you ain't got no time to get to it. Like you said, Cass, there is no middle. It's just boom, and God forbid that there's a break in the action, a clinch or two,
Yeah,
That's eating up some clock right there.
I know.
Oh, great point. Great point.
Yeah,
So you're only really getting about a minute and some change of actual work.
right. And then you lose that first minute. You got to get busy in that last one. You don't have no middle minute to make it up. It's all downhill, and you got to get busy. The
Think
clock
about
comes
this.
down on you.
Women's championship fight is only
Yeah,
20 minutes in totality if it sees
right.
the final bell. A men's championship bout, it's 36 minutes. That's 16 more minutes to work with.
Yep.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
And that's a lot of time to turn the tide or separate yourself in a fight. And that's where we think that the women's game can benefit, and in doing so can start to command a lot more viewership and respect of folks, because right now it's more spectacle than anything. And I think that they are trying to make strides to change that, and that would definitely be one of the things that could help it out.
They
I
was
agree
doing
with you.
the prospect fight on one card where it was like 4 rounds, but it was 3 minutes a while back, but yeah, he was trying. So I don't know. I would just like to see him do it, man, And like you say, T Hill, that would bring more interest right there. You were saying yesterday, you probably get more knockouts,
You probably would.
I think we probably would. And let me ask you this, because you're very astute with these types of deals. Do you see the benefit also in having Derek James in their corner? Because I know a lot of people had mixed reviews about the first fight.
Who was that? Baumgartner?
Yeah, Baumgartner. I think that helped also because he's a big stickler on being in peak conditioning.
Yeah.
As well, too.
I think so. Initially, I didn't really know how to feel about it because Alicia in the past, she was renowned for her power, but I would say it was more so her counterpunching that produced the knockouts that she got. A lot of the stoppages that she got were based on her counterpunching. And with Tony Harrison, she had a more loose, free style that was more conducive to counterpunching, where Derek James is more of a systematic breakdown. That appears to be his philosophy above anything else. Like you said, T Hill, like one of the staples of a Derek James of the Derek James program is the conditioning, and then I would also say behind that, like the fundamentals. Generally, his fighters are going to come up there, they're going to keep their hands high and tight, and they're going to work behind the jab, and then they're going to mix in the body attack. Like damn near all of his fighters fight the same way. It's very, very rooted in the basics. So the first fight, I wasn't really too crazy about her performance. But in this fight, especially under those rules, I thought that his tutelage, it benefited her greatly. But with the 2-minute system, I don't know. But with 3, yeah, I like the way she looked under the 3.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is an excellent point.
Yeah.
And she looked bought in as well, too, because in the first fight, there were quite a few times where she wasn't listening to him at all. He was telling her to do certain things, and she was just doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now she appears to be bought in. And sometimes that's the case, too. It's not so much always whether or not the coach is a good fit, but whether or not the fighter is willing to receive the instruction.
I wanted to ask y'all before we go. I want to ask y'all about her and Caroline.
I got Caroline.
You got Caroline?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got Caroline. I think that Caroline is a lot more consistent with her application of transferring between offense and defense and offense.
Yeah.
There are quite a few times throughout the course of a match where Alicia Baumgartner will just be static, and you'll just see her just head on the line, just eating shots. In her last fight, the previous one with Jennifer Miranda, that was happening quite a bit, where she was just eating a lot of shots unnecessarily.
I remember that one against she fought on the card with Clarissa and Savannah Marshall.
Yeah, you talking about
Right on that one?
the fellow Olympian. What's her name? Sandy? No.
That Mayer, the other one.
Yeah, Michaela Mayer?
Yeah, was it Michaela Mayer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she lost that one.
What did you think about that fight, Ant?
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because off the top of my head, I can't recall whether or not I thought she lost, but I gotta rewatch it.
Was attacking her though, you know, and
yeah, her defense can be extremely leaky at times.
Mm-hmm.
At times,
and that's why I would have Caroline over her. Like Caroline.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gets hit. It's a damn fight.
Right. That's true.
So I don't want to be too harsh or be too heavy-handed with my criticism. But the thing I'll say with Caroline is that she generally does a pretty good job of limiting how much she gets hit. Like a good defensive fighter, you might be able to hit them with a single shot. Seldom do you see them getting pieced up with like 3 and 4 punch combinations. Like you get one off and then they're going to make a defensive maneuver and get themselves off the line or find a way to deflect a shot or slip a shot or something. But Alicia, she has moments where she's just like getting pieced up. And I'm like, nah. Back to back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would have to go with Caroline in that regard. And I think that she's just the sharper between the two overall, too. Like, even offensively, I think she's sharper than Alicia. And her conditioning appears to be just a tad bit better. Like, I can't recall ever seeing Caroline looking ragged. I have seen that with Alicia Baumgartner. But to her credit, that last fight that she just had, the 3-minute rounds, she was able to pace herself pretty well.
So, like, I pretty much, oftentimes I don't disagree with Ant. I mean, more times than not, our logic aligned. I think in this case, I fully agree. I think that her technical application will be the difference in the fight. Likewise, like, the conditioning had been a problem. Now, I'm not sold after one fight, but the next fight, if she is, because she's saying that from this point forward, she's fully going the 3-minute round route. Like she wants the 3-minute round, appeal. So that I think that will help her in regards to that. Because I think that like her biggest strength, like you said, is counterpunching, but landing that shot off of the counterpunching. I don't know if that's something that will be worked on with her regarding DJ, but if it is something, that punch can always change the course of a fight for her. But as it stands right now, I really feel like Caroline Dubois is like women's boxing's best kept secret. I think that she is probably the most complete fighter right now in the women's sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, her aunt told me this fantastic story about like the dynamic of the Dubois family.
Okay.
And I think that she carries this chip on her shoulder because of it, because she wants to show the world that boxing is alive through me.
Mm-hmm.
And what, my father wanted for this man, I'm going to be that and then some. So, I think she fights with that, and she's ready for the fights too, but she's also practical. Like when they asked about the fight, she was honest enough to say, if I'm given the fight, I will take it now. But I don't think that fight is ready. There's certain fights that I got to do. Like there's countrymen of mine that I got to clear out.
Right.
That will help prepare me for that fight. So like she's not disrespecting the threat that Alicia is and the opponent that she can be for her. So, I think she's approaching it the right way, man. And she's going to be tough when you get in that ring because she's hungry. Mm-hmm. And that hunger is something else. And I didn't like what Alicia said that day. I understand that this is a social media world.
But the puppy?
Yeah, but sometimes you start sniffing it and it don't smell like it really do smell in real life. And I mean, shout out to Outkast. Sometimes roses really do smell like boo-boo. And you don't want to get to that point where your roses smelling like boo boo. And I mean, you could do that in a fight game, and it could go south real quick. She's somebody that could take it south real quick. She is that good. I love me some Caroline Dubois. And that being said, I love me some Alicia too. I thought she won the fight. I thought she barely won the fight. I thought she edged it. I thought that was a fight that we should have gotten a rematch to, because it was that close. I'm not mad at anybody who said they thought that Michaela Mayer won, and Michaela Mayer has gotten better since then. It's a possible fight. And then that fight with Miranda is another fight that I think she should run back. But, you know, Dubois, I think Dubois is something that you really got to consider when you're going up in it. You cannot take her light, because she is nothing light in that ring. That's my take.
Not at all. We got to get ready to go. I see Pigeon was asking for the link. I'm going to give him 10 minutes, Pigeon. I'm going to drop it. What is it? Yeah, 4:45. Yeah, we can go 15 more minutes.
But I will say one thing. I'm so glad that Ant did click the link. I miss talking with my man. That we had some very good conversation about the sport, man. So Kaz, I appreciate you for allowing that link to be dropped today.
I haven't caught a Casual's Corner in a while.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna try to get my man Ant to that fight so we can do a Casuals Corner, because usually when he goes to the fight, he gets inspiration. He comes back on fire.
Being there live, yeah, I can see that.
But at the same time, I mean, he is a family man, and you know that's truly his passion, his love. So you know,
I haven't been the one.
That supersedes everything. That's why, you know, it's cool, and you know, I respect the hell out of his wife, because she allows him that time to interact and engage with us. Yeah.
Let's going to them fights. You take time. I went like 23 to Tank Hector over there in DC. That's the last time I've been to one. Tank and Hector and Boo Boo and all of them was on there. I believe Boots. That was a card where Boots, and what's his name? The guy that ran around. What was his name? You know the guy, T Hill.
You talking about Aaron Kukadazin?
Yeah.
Oh man, I you know what, Kaz? We did a breakdown on that one. Like everybody said that man ran. We saw boxing. I didn't see running. No, I saw boxing.
Get to recognize what fight I was talking about. Yeah, I couldn't think of it.
No, because that was the for the most part, that was the narrative about that, where he ran. Yeah, he moved. You know what I'm saying? He got somebody over there trying to chop his block off. So he's making him work to try to get him. And in the process, he was stopping and he was throwing punches. He just was moving more excessively than he was throwing punches.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one, boy.
That was a good battle there, you know.
I will say this, and I'm not making no excuse. I believe that was a fight that Boots did not want, and he thought it probably wouldn't be as difficult as it was because of the look that Karen gave him the first time. But in that first fight, he should have recognized that there were times where Karen would stop, move you to a certain way, and and get going too. So Karen, I don't care what nobody say.
You said he was trying to outdo Tank.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I thought that was a big, but I'll let Ant speak on that because Ant gonna articulate the hell out of that.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought you did it justice, T Hill. I'm in agreement with you. I think there was a lot of pressure. Because the first fight was down there, we're in Atlantic City. Right. So that's close to home. That's right across the bridge from Philadelphia.
Yeah. That's home, yeah.
Oh no. That was Roy Monvilla. He beat up in
that was Villa.
In Atlantic City.
Oh my God. He ended his career, bro. I feel bad for Villa after that fight.
First one was in DC.
There you go.
Yeah, I was at that one.
So he was I can see exactly why you said he was trying to outdo Tank, because I mean that's a big platform to be on.
For Hector, yeah.
So if you can steal the show, you know that puts you in a whole nother stratosphere.
Right. Yeah.
Because God only knows how many people were tuned in for that event.
Mhm.
So what you're saying is reasonable.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think that some of that did carry over into his performance, but I also believe that a lot of it was just Karen doing things that, offset what Boots is good at, and then also it put a spotlight on some of the things that Boots may need to tighten up on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that at times we can tend to forget that just because somebody is highly touted or they're heralded, it doesn't mean that they're a finished product.
That's right. I mean, they don't have flaws in there. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
I know.
Good evening,
Con.
gentlemen.
What's going on, Con?
Hey,
What's
thank
up,
you for
Colin?
having me again. Yeah, I just noticed the topic was young and emerging talent, boxers,
Yeah.
and I heard you guys discussing Caroline DeBar. So
Right. Yeah, that's what
she's
we-
amongst a cohort from the Repton Boxing Club, which is almost
From
like
the
the
who?
academy of boxing in the UK. So she's from the Repton Boxing Club, same as her brother Daniel, and a whole host of other prospects, including Jimmy Sains, Giorgio Fasoli, who just recently won the English lightweight title, and another new guy, Gabriel Purcell. He's coming up. So, yeah, the Repton Boxing Club is known for producing people that have gone on to win the ABAs, which is like the equivalent of your national Golden Gloves. And then they've obviously put up other guys who've gone to compete at the Olympics. I think Terry Spinks that's West Ham Boys Club, sorry. Audley Harrison was one of the gold medalists at the Sydney Olympics, the Southpaw. He didn't do very well as a professional, but he boxed for Repton. But yeah, the Repton Boxing Club is where a lot of this pool of talent from the UK come from, and it's in East London. So it's based in Bethnal Green. But yeah, just when you mentioned about Caroline Dubois, she was an ABA champion, which is like equivalent to your national Golden Gloves,
Okay.
So they produce a lot of fine amateur champions.
What?
They turn over to pro. So yeah, that's my bit from the UK. That was just picking up some of those guys,
Yeah.
Shut up, bro. Shut up. Word up to everybody in the chat. Word up to my man from the UK. Yeah, the Repton Boxing Club was the main thing years ago. That used to be the main thing, which used to go down. So like every time there was like champs coming out of the UK, it was from Repton and stuff like that. So yeah, word up, bro. Word up to the Repton gym. Yeah, word up, man. Listen, you remember my greasy from the UK? Do you remember the Bethnal Green fights? I've been to about 2 events in Bethnal Green, and like I come down from Birmingham to go to Bethnal Green, and that was some absolutely crazy stuff, man. The York Hall.
The York Hall, yeah, I was gonna say. It's like the one of the birthplaces of British boxing, not but it's a very important and pivotal place.
Yeah.
In
York Hall.
Facts. Yeah, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think yeah.
With that being said, like, who are the young talent that we should be looking for coming out of there?
So Jimmy
When do
Sains, he's like 10-0 now, I think. Jimmy Sains. Giorgio Fasoli, he trains with the Tibbs. Mark
What's
Tibbs.
the brother's name, Kong? The brothers.
Who?
It's like 3 of them. 3 brothers.
Oh yeah. I know what you
Is that
mean.
your fives? Is that the your fives?
Yeah. That's
No.
One of them
No.
won the
I don't
Olympic
think
gold.
it's them.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone
That was
now.
why, but
They're
he
gone.
lost to that
think
other
it's-
guy who got done for peds, right? He lost in his
Yeah.
title class.
Martinez.
All that stuff.
Yeah,
Martinez. He must have lost the Martinez guy.
It might not have been in your fight.
Yep.
I think it's 3 of them.
Yeah. There's Gallia fighters. They're from Birmingham. They're from my area.
That's right.
They trained at the Sheffield, the Sheffield Boxing Academy.
What's the
But
name?
it's the Sheffield Boxing Academy. It's the main Olympic place that I've been to. It's kind of where they all train.
Yeah.
But
the Sheffield Institute of Sport, so it's the performance
there you go.
pathway for Team GB.
Is that where Cal Brook trained at?
No, he is from Sheffield.
no,
He's
no.
from the Ingle Gym,
No.
which produced Johnny
Winkerback.
Nelson and Prince Nazim
It's
Mohammed.
It's kind of the Winkerback gym. It's the Winkerback gym. But Sheffield is producing some amazing individuals now. It's producing some amazing individuals, like specimens of fighters, you know. Like back in the day, you had like Ryan Rhodes, he never won a belt. You had like Harold Graham, he never won a belt.
Yeah.
But now they've been winning some big belts over the last. Listen, has anybody watched Giant? Has anybody watched this Prince Nassim film? I've not watched
I've heard
it.
that like it's
What's
got
the name of it?
historical inaccuracies. Like for most biopics, they're not particularly.
What's the name of it?
Great.
It's called Giant.
Giant, bro.
Brendan Ingle
Yeah.
and Prince Nazim Hamid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like the Muhammad Ali films.
never
They
heard
weren't
of it.
that
Yeah.
great, you know. They weren't
Yeah.
like they were just like the best film with Muhammad Ali or about Muhammad Ali was The Greatest,
Right.
where he played himself. But even that.
Oh,
was
yeah,
accurate.
I like the one
Yeah,
Fighting
yeah.
Ali. You ever see that? It's one called Fighting Ali too. There was a lot of fighting
Oh.
in the 70s. And they
Yeah, I saw.
in it.
I saw that one.
That was pretty good.
That's an old. That's an old ass film, bro. That's an
real
old.
Oh,
Really, oh.
that's
That-
like 50 years. Over 50 years. The 70s.
I just think Muhammad Ali was amazing. Do you remember when he fought that wrestler, the guy, the
Inoki,
Japanese guy?
Inoki.
Yeah, I remember.
What was all that about? What was all that?
So
He got
while
a
we
big-
got
he got a
you
big
on,
bag from Japan.
Publicity
That's
and
what
money.
happened, man.
That's all.
Yeah,
while we
he's
got
the
you on and
great.
we're talking. While we got you on and we're talking the heavyweight division, what do you see out that way in regards to the heavyweight division? Who you got running it,
What,
and who
who's
you got
emerging
coming
out
up?
of the UK or just the heavyweight worldwide scene?
Well, in the UK, and then we could transition to the world.
Well, obviously Moses Atalma's kind of like the top boy there. Like he's in a prime position. You got another young man called Leo Atang. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
I heard of him.
Yeah.
You said his name is
He's kind
Atang?
of like 3 or 4
Leo
right
Atang.
now.
Yeah.
Great
So,
fighter.
I
Great
mean, he's
fighter.
blasting journeyman right now, but that's like, you know, they all blast journeyman at the beginning, like Frank Bruno, right?
Mhm.
They all blast
Yeah.
journeyman until they reach a point of a test. So
Yeah.
Yo, Frank Bruno was a specimen.
You're never gonna mess with Bruno. You're never
No.
gonna mess with Bruno. Never gonna mess with him. He's a main dude, bro. Like, if you're talking boxing,
Yeah.
Well, I'm nearly 60 years old, and like I've been to about 6 of Bruno's actual original fights, which used to happen down in London, Docklands, all over the place. I used to watch like Nigel Benn fights when Bruno used to turn up, and the effect of Bruno on the British public was it's kind of like it's like somebody's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just. He was a lovely man, Frank Bruno, you know, and I miss them times. I miss them times, bro.
I had one friend. He went to go and watch Bruno Witherspoon in I think it was '86.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he
Middle
said that the fans were chanting, "You can't beat Bruno with a spoon."
That was so weird.
No.
They were
Wasn't
like,
that in England?
you know, the play on words.
Yeah.
You know the result, right? It was a good fight until he got gassed out, but that's an underrated knockout from Tyrrell.
Oh yeah.
After a bit.
I remember that.
Yeah, my father used to own a workbench, and he used to run a carpentry firm. And if you ever remember the what was his name, Alan Minter against Marvin Hagler, that fight.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like my yeah. Well, but like I was about like I've discussed this on Bruce Gass. You know Bruce Gass's channel. He does the
Yes,
boxing.
sir.
Bruce Gass.
Yeah, we know.
And
part of the
yeah, well, I was actually at that fight as a sort of 7-year-old baby.
Oh,
It's kind of a kid. I was a kid, and my father and I was in the hotel with my mother, so she was looking after me because I was a kid, I was a child, and my father went to the actual fight. He went to the Marvin Hagler fight. That is just it's just one of the most. It's one of the most bizarrest things in my life. If I think about it,
that's my favorite Hagler fight. I mean, I know people like the Hearns Hagler fight, and it's a classic, but I love the Minter Hagler fight. I think it's a great fight.
You would have loved it, mate. It's my father had a signed. I showed this on Bruce Gass and Mad Chad, and my father had a signed image. It was a 6 foot image of Hagler. Six foot, that's a lot. It's a big 6 foot.
He's not even 6 foot, he's only like 5'9.5" or something.
It's 5 foot. So it was like a poster of Hagler that my father got made, and he put it behind his workbench in Birmingham here in the UK, and I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. It was amazing. And when I think back about like that they go on about these fights today, that they were nothing compared to what they were years
old is
ago.
gold, man. Those classic fights will never be replicated.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what, I got
the heavyweight scene. What you were saying, man. We got Moses Atalma.
Yeah.
Leo Atang. Who else have we got who's kind of a prospect in the heavyweight division from the UK? Those are the two main ones that are like sort of really that are getting the sort of coverage at the moment, I would say.
The Atang guy, like I want to see him fight like an area level, maybe a national. Yeah, I have to watch that. Until I can judge him. Yo, bro, where's Atang from? Is he fighting out of London?
I think so. I don't want to say with certainty though, because I can't say for sure. But.
Yeah. I need to see what's going on with his career, to be honest.
So
if I'm honest with that.
How do you like Atama's prospects as opposed to the national setting?
I mean, he blew out Dillian White, right? I mean, a lot of people say that Dillian White was washed anyway and a bit shot off. I mean, his showing against Ebenezer Tete previously to that was just absolutely terrible. I mean, obviously we talk about Lawrence Okoli, who is not fan friendly at all. You know, he's not a good watch. Yeah.
I just think
I like some of his cruiserweight bouts, but I'm not really a fan of Lawrence Okoli. I'm honest. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I just think Okoli sort of dropped the bag when he started hugging people about 4 years ago.
French fest, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I'm not taking on Okoli, to be honest. All I want to see is like I've wanted to see a lot more coming from the USA. I know what happened with Jared Anderson against your man,
Michael Hunter.
Yeah. I just think we need to see less of the NFL in America, and let's get back to some real fighting in America.
There's no Olympic program, right? There's the Olympic program in the States, right? That was run by Kenny Adams back in the day, and he worked with guys like Taylor, Riddick Bowe, you know, Ray Mercer, like all of that talent that came out of that time. You know, the 80s. I mean, you can talk about Deontay Wilder getting a bronze medal, but there's really no one.
Yeah.
They're not producing in the same way. They haven't got a presence in the Olympics or. You know,
I know it's not really
big international competitions and the amateurs. That's where they're.
I know it's not.
You know.
I know it's not really our sort of business to discuss American boxing in terms of this, but. I do think, you know, I'm not political in the slightest. But like Donald Trump is like a massive boxing fan. I think Donald Trump should start
You promote
opening up sort of like gyms back in the United States,
He
you
used to
know.
promote
Or
fights
just
back in the
Yeah, he
80s.
did. He is that the McCallum?
yeah.
McCallum
Yeah.
Tony fight, wasn't he? He was big on that, wasn't he? And the Tyson Spinks.
He was, yeah.
You know?
I do think the American public, there's lots of problems in my country now, and I don't really want to get involved in American boxing. But I think the American boxing public need to get onto Trump to start opening up some of these gyms, because Gleason's and all this, you can't just run it off New York or one gym. Like they're like Brooklyn Bridge. Nobody can go there and train unless you're a multimillionaire. They need to start opening up the gyms back in America, you know.
Well, they used to have
the Midwest,
right? The police athletics club and the boys clubs and all that sort of stuff. And that was their kind of like that was where a lot of the talent emerged from, you know.
They still have a power system going on, but it's not what it used to be.
Nah, right. Yeah. They still have
what they was. The American system of boxing management is absolutely horrendous, bro. And
did you see that Dalton Smith fight? It was like £41 pay-per-view or something, the Mateus Dalton Smith fight.
Oh yeah.
Like you guys, you really get screwed over on the PBC subscriptions. I mean, yeah, like you used to have free-to-air terrestrial boxing, right? Back in the day, I know obviously you had all those other networks, but you could watch free-to-air boxing, right? So people were able. It's
like why aren't they doing? Why aren't they doing flights from Europe to New York or to Los Angeles cheap? Yeah. People paying big money. You know,
I watched that for free on network television, live.
It was like it used to get network television back then, like Muhammad Ali fights.
So I think part of the reason for
when they were happening live.
Yeah. They used to make more money. This is what people don't realize. They used to make more money on the George Foreman, the Ali, the Ken Norton. Yeah. They used to make more money on these fights when it wasn't charged, because it was an event. People used to go out and spend money, pay tax. Right. They don't understand. Well, they seem to think that all they do when they charge for a fight is send people somewhere else to illegally stream the fight. If you make the fight free, or you put it somewhere where people can watch the fight, you're going to get much more tax revenue. But listen, it's not about the country. It's about the business. So they're just in it for themselves, bro.
The general public don't typically know who the world champions are, right? Because there's so many different titles.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, and people
what do you feel about that?
Boxing and know what it's about, they'll be like, well, who's who? You know.
So speaking of that point, what do you feel about the titles and being too many, like an oversaturation of them?
Exactly.
That's a good point. I just want two. I want the WBA and the WBC. I want it to go back to the old the Jewish guy and the Muslim guy. Originally, it was the Jewish guy and the Muslim guy that ran it. Just bring that back. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you look at the lineal championships, like the chain of champions, right? And then you wonder, who's really who beat the man, and you got titles.
Yeah.
So they say I'm champion, but you're not in the threat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Like that. You remember the IBF stuff that went down? What was it in 94, 96?
They introduced it, I think.
Yeah, but there was a lot of shit that went down. Like there was corruption at the IBF a long time. I think it's in the mid 90s, man. He got banged up for it, bro. Yeah, man, that was crazy.
The
It's
IBO
just
is like a lesser title, which is, and then obviously the WBO didn't become really a thing until the 90s anyway, did it? Like, you know,
Right.
it didn't, and I've always said this as well. It's like that they go on about the WBO, but it was a good belt. But I will say one thing: even though I'm English, even though I'm a British guy, I never really rated the WBO, and this is gonna go against my countrymen. I never rated it till the 2000s, bro.
That was really more popular in the Europe though than it was over here when it first.
Yeah, I'm right. Well, listen, I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. Yeah. I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. I'm just keeping it 100.
No. You got to be objective, right? Like you got to be objective. You can support your guys, your countrymen or whatever, but like you got to be objective about the sport, and not many people are. They're too tribal about boxing.
Yeah. You're right. It is a very tribal sport, and to actually have your own opinion is it's a beautiful thing, because if you've got your own opinion on boxing, it means that you've got your own mind, which is a good thing, because you never really want to be tribal in a sport. Really, it's kind of stupid, really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
How they call it, fans, short for fanatic.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It's kind of a fanatic.
People who like they
that's not everybody, you know.
There's people who are fanatical about Wilder. There's people who are delusional about Fury. There's people who are delusional about Joshua. There's people who are delusional about Usyk. And if you make any kind of critique at all, you're suddenly like, oh, you're a Fury supporter, or you're a Joshua supporter, or you're a Wilder. Like, no, I'm just trying to like look at the sport objectively. There might be guys I like more than the other, but I'm still gonna like. I kind of do still have people that are actually sort of I go above the objectivity, and like I do love inboxing. There is about 4 people in boxing that I wouldn't care if they win, lost, or I couldn't care if they lost every fight or won every fight. We still have about a few people that we love, you know. And I've got a few of them like that. I've got a few, you know, that I really do take to my heart, even if they're not, you know. Muhammad Ali's one of them, isn't he? Really, what a guy, like that Ali. In terms of I look at Muhammad Ali from career perspectives. You got the Cassius Clay 1960 to 1960 to 1967.
He was hated.
I thought he was an amazing guy. What a guy! What a guy!
1970 to 1981. It's almost like 2 different careers, completely very different. I mean, I like. The first
I've always
Cassius Clay version, I think, was like for athleticism, reflex.
Yeah, before he got sent down for jail time.
Yeah, that was disgusting, bro. It was still like I gotta keep it real. What he said was true, and I'm not really a political guy. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I'm my guy. But I'll say one thing about Muhammad Ali's true. Do you know what he said? Well, why should I travel halfway around the planet to kill some little fucking Chinese guys that I don't even know what their troubles about, bro?
Right. That was true.
Listen.
Muhammad Ali quotes, people.
What a guy! What a guy! What a guy!
But Kung, I want to say that what you said was absolutely spot on. Like there was a demarcation in his career from the time that he had to sit down those years, and what he once was, he no longer was. He still was great.
Yeah,
but he was no longer.
No. But listen. He was great. He was.
So
He
my
got
argument,
better.
like what
He
you were
got
saying,
better.
those 3 years where he was sat down, yeah. And I think if he had remained active, that Joe Frazier still would have caught him in 1971, the same outcome.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah,
he would
but
have got him in the return and the subsequent rubber match.
yeah, but he
That's
didn't
what I
get
think.
anything. Yeah, but this never happened. It's all hearsay. It's all hearsay, and it didn't happen. You know,
He got suspended.
it didn't happen.
He beat him in 71.
No, Frazier beating Ali in 71.
You said if he wouldn't have got suspended, you still would have had.
No,
Frazier?
no. What I'm saying is, I think if Muhammad Ali had not been suspended in 1967, I think Joe Frazier still would have got to him in 1971, and the outcome probably would still be the same. However, I think Muhammad Ali still would have got him in the rematch and the rubber match. I think it could have played out the same way.
Yeah. I kind of disagree.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of disagree. I think if Ali wasn't suspended from boxing, I don't even think Joe Frazier would have. He would have been knocked out as a contender, like pre-Ali fight.
Well, the Bonavena fight was the one that was a contentious one, the first one, right?
Yeah, but you've always got to remember it was Ali who used to take Joe Frazier to the gym, take him around. It was Ali that was ferrying him around for a long time to go into like spars.
Want that fight? And,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, because obviously with Yank Durham,
I'm just saying.
Joe Frazier wanted the Liston fight, but they didn't think Liston was. They didn't think Frazier was ready for Liston.
Joe's team didn't want it.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna miss it.
Durham didn't want it.
Right.
Listen.
Liston would have beat Joe Frazier worse than George Foreman. You know why? Liston was the most skilled boxer than Foreman. So Liston would have
well, Liston was
I agree with that.
Right? Liston was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Liston was Foreman's mentor. He trained him. They used to spar together after he came out of the Olympics.
Yeah. I just think Frazier popped up at the right time from Philadelphia. Listen. If you go back to the history of the United States, the late 70s, Joe Frazier, his whole persona, his crew, that was all that.
Hello?
We lost him. I got to get ready to go anyway, though, fellas.
Yeah, well, thank you for having it. But just, I mean, my man was talking about the heavyweight scene. Like, I think Usyk should face Kabayel and Wardley.
Me too.
And Atalma. Those three, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you could say he's cleared out.
Let's think about Usyk and Kabayel before we go. Usyk and Kabayel, what you got on that one?
I think Usyk's too technical to get beat by him. You know, you could see there was a few flaws in Kabayel in his most recent fight. Like, don't get me wrong, I like him, but I think you could see the opportunities that Usyk could exploit.
Okay.
Just like with Dubois. But I think it will be competitive. Don't get me wrong. I think it will be very competitive.
What about Kabayel and Atalma?
Oh, well, I think Atalma might be too quick to the punch.
Okay.
But the one that what people really want is some people were saying about Wardley versus Dubois. That's another one that's been like people.
Wardley and Dubois.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Wow, I never thought about that fight, Wardley and Dubois. Wow.
Yeah. So some people were thinking about that one.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
If Dubois' head is right, I mean, you know, he got to be focused going in that ring, man. You cannot, in that division in particular, you cannot play around because one punch can change the whole course of the fight.
I mean, I like that Justice Hooney, the guy who gave Wardley a good fight. He's quite skilled, quite like technically gifted guy, the Australian guy, but he lacked a little bit of power, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's a scene that needs to be infused with a lot more talent. in a lot more matches because
Yeah.
it usually generates the sport, and it hasn't been that.
I think the talent is up there. But
Yeah, there are talent. They just now got to fight. They got to fight.
That's right.
They got to fight. So and one thing I will say about Usyk is that he's fought pretty much everybody that we wanted to see him fight. There's only a couple of fights left for him, in my honest opinion.
Well, what do you think? I don't think he should be fighting Wilder. I think
I don't, but I believe that it will make a lot of money because people. Yeah, well, there's a dynamic at play that people want to see. So
yeah, we make money. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to Wilder along the way, but he's clearly not the fighter that he used to be. Not just even 4 or 5 years ago. So.
He act like he don't want to hurt nobody or something anymore, man.
I mean, I remember the fight with him and Luis Ortiz. I think it was the first one, right? And he was getting a pounding. And then I remember the ring doctor came over in round 7. This is in New York, right? And the ring doctor came round. They examined him with the torch, kind of looked in his eyes and stuff, and gave him a kind of like, "You okay?" Mm-hmm. And then he carried on. And then, I don't know, that fight, it was just kind of like, he was very close to getting beaten by Ortiz, and obviously they had the rematch as a result. But that first fight was quite, it showed, its vulnerability for me.
Yeah.
The first fight with Ortiz and Wilder.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, hopefully they get it situated, and that we'll get those fights, and not just at the heavyweight, but all throughout boxing where the fights are to be made, and a lot of the politics will erode, and we can get some of these fights because that's what we want. I do disagree, though. I think that if Muhammad Ali never had that downtime, I don't think the circuit would have caught up to him, because he was just above everybody else with his movement and his agility, and also the fact that he could blend it together.
So the activity was either going to keep him on top or wear him out a bit. It could have gone either way. You
have a point there. You have a point there. No, you have a point there. Definitely have a point there. Mm-hmm. So I can't discount it.
No, it never happened. It's just speculative, but it's always...
It's all speculation, unfortunately, yeah. And I don't want the scene that we have to be just speculation, because there are fights out there that can be made that could clear some of the speculation. I hope we get some of these fights.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, Kaz, man. A wonderful show. Appreciate my man, Ant McQueen, coming out. It's always good when that brother come out there. Kung, appreciate you coming up and for...
Thank you.
Likewise, T Hill.
You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed this session. Oh, I was gonna ask Ant, because Ant's still here. I was gonna ask, oh my God, what was I? Oh, when you said the thing about Boots in the Karen fight, I do believe, and we often spoke of this when we covered it, that Karen was a big factor in that. And I think that Karen is one of the best fighters at that division, if not possibly the best, that's not getting fights. And I do believe that he showed you that he is more faceted than just one way, because people say, well, he don't normally fight like that. Yeah, but sometimes you get in the ring with somebody, you got to adjust the way you fight so that you can get the best performance out of yourself. And that's what boxing is. So that's why when people say, I don't want to see that fight because they do too much moving in the ring, you know what? It's up to the opponent to move them right to where they need them so that they can get their work off. That's boxing.
Why sit still, man, on and let someone hit you?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Last time I saw that was a red guy and a blue guy. They called it Rock'em Sock'em. And they only move.
If you move, cut the ring off and stop him from moving, right?
So it's not his fault that Boots was following him the whole fight. He didn't angle the ring. If he would have angled the ring, he could have been more effective. And we saw instances where he could have done that and used his hands and his legs together to corral him.
Do you know what George Benton used to say? He used to say to his guys, to step with them. Especially Evander Holyfield and guys like that. George Benton used to say, you got to step with your opponent. It's kind of like you can catch the punches or slip with them, but you're standing in front of them. You've got that confidence to be in front of them. And a lot of guys don't have that kind of defense anymore. You know, to be able to have the
Go
confidence
Frazier.
to step in front of guys, but not get hit.
If I just want to watch some tape, how to cut the ring off, watch some old Smoking Joe. Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a great show, man.
Ali.
Benton knows best. We seen him do it as a fighter. Like the one fight that I watch every year without fail is George Benton versus Alan Thomas.
Okay. George Benton and Alan Thomas.
Yeah. Oh my lord. He was doing exactly what the brother was just saying, which is like being right in front of him and being able to defend himself. And I agree with that 1000%, because a lot of times you see a lot of guys getting off the job, as Roy Jones would call it, where they hop out of range and they reset so far that now they can't counterpunch. So it's like, yeah, you've been able to evade the other guy, but you also can't land offense. And you see a lot of guys.
James Toney was like, he was one kind of version of it, but he didn't master it in the same way. You know, it's like he was pretty good. He kind of almost had that, but not. If he had been better conditioned, I think James Toney would have probably performed much better. You know, in that regard.
Yeah, he definitely would have been able to use his legs a lot more.
Yeah.
Because you watch his first 10, 15 fights, he actually used his legs quite well.
He's a middleweight.
It got to a point where, you know, he said he didn't like to run. He didn't like to do road work. He wasn't a big fan of conditioning. All he wanted to do was spar. He didn't hit the heavy bag or anything.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a guy like I forgot what his coach was called? James Toney's coach. He was another old guy. And they used to study loads of boxing films.
Who was it? You know? I can't.
I know, but I remember my man's name.
Yeah, damn.
You're not talking about Bill Miller, are you?
I think so. Bill Miller. Yeah, that's him. That's who we was talking about, Eddie Kong. Bill Miller.
Yeah. That's him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That's
the
name.
And that's the reason why American boxing it doesn't have those kind of coaches anymore. You know, that kind of knowledge or experience in the sport.
Teachers. You know?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely agreed.
That goes a long way. I was asking my man behind the hands TV about his experience watching the up and coming coaches and how attentive they are when they're in the presence of guys like Ronnie Shields, because down there in Texas, you got quite a few veteran coaches down there.
The one I know from Texas is Kenny Weldon. Kenny Weldon? He produced loads of Golden Glove amateur champions. I don't know about him as a pro, but I knew he was a good amateur coach. Kenny Weldon, white guy.
Okay.
In Texas. He's the only guy I know from that area. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if you heard of him. Kenny Weldon. No.
If I'm not mistaken, what's his name was down in Texas too, like Robert Garcia. I know Ronald Sims is down there.
Robert Garcia, of course, yeah.
Ronnie Shields, as we just mentioned.
Yeah.
And we know Ronnie spent quite a time as George Benton's assistant. He was with Pernell Whitaker for 10 years, and 5 of those 10 years, he was second behind George Benton.
But didn't he work with both Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield? Was that right? He worked with both
Who's that?
guys. Ronnie Shields.
I don't know if Ronnie worked with what's the name after. I don't know if he worked with. I don't know if he worked with Mike after
Holyfield.
Who's that? Kevin Rooney.
Yeah, Kevin Rooney was his main trainer before Don King got rid of him.
Yeah. But I know Tyson was with Ronnie Shields for a little while.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. He trained, when he came out of prison.
Also, he trained Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And according to Wikipedia, he trained Arturo Gatti. But I know Buddy McGirt was Gatti's trainer, right, before as well.
Yeah, I know he's with Buddy.
Yeah, but yeah, he'd worked with Gatti as well. And Jamel Charlo, Chris Arreola, all those guys.
Yeah, I didn't know about Mike. It must have been like in the 90s.
I think it was 2001. It was, or like 2000.
Yeah,
only like
later.
that brief.
Later.
Because I think he worked with him when he wrapped up that guy's arm. Was it Bofa, the one he broke his arm? He was with him in the corner for that one, I think. You know Tyson when he fought Botha? Was it Francis
Yeah,
Botha?
Francois Botha.
Yeah, he was with him for that one. I know it was around
He
that
was?
sort of time.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of that, but it could have been.
Yeah.
But continue your point though, Ant, when you were making about the nuance of the training from the old school and some of the lost art that has been transferred over to the new age training.
Is he still there?
He might have hit an area where
Yeah, I'm
he
still
died
here.
out.
No, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what really drove it home for me, I got to shout out to Coach Tommy. Hope he's doing well. But he recommended the book Cornermen.
Mm-hmm.
And in that book,
I've heard this book. Yeah.
it's a great book, man, because you have all of these coaches like Ray Arcel, Freddie Brown, Dundee, of course. They opened it up with Dundee. Man, Dundee was so damn crafty. I didn't even realize they had a section in his chapter where he talked about wrapping Ali's hands with Kotex.
You got to hit the link, Phil. He said he clicked off, but you got to hit it again.
With Kotex. He was wrapping this man's hands with tampons because Ali had brittle hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me that before. Yeah.
He was injecting cortisone into his hand at one point, Ali, right? I think they had him doing that because his hands were getting beat up.
His hands were jacked up for quite some time.
Yeah. Same happened with Kawasaki. He used to have hand problems as well.
I heard that, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, but his hand problems were chronic and persistent. I don't think there was ever a fight where his hands weren't jacked up.
Yeah.
Which is why he probably developed that style of just working with speed instead of trying to sit down on shots.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to score and just do what he could. But he was brilliant though, Joe Kawasaki. He really was.
Fight with Omar Shika was quite a close one, but he said he opened up Shika's eye and they stopped it. It looked a bit early to me, the stoppage against Shika, but I mean, yeah, that was a good fight. And then obviously the one that they talk about over here a lot is the one with Robin Reed, which was a close one. That's the one that everyone used to talk about. And obviously the B-Hop, the Bernard Hopkins fight was kind of like.
What did you think about the Bernard Hopkins fight?
For me, I wouldn't be able to really make a decent assessment. I'd have to run it back and see that. I'd have to sit down and study it. Because what about you guys? What would you say?
I gotta
watch. I haven't seen all of that fight, to be honest. I haven't seen all of that fight, so I can't.
I think that's a fight that we should definitely look back on and reconvene and talk about it and discuss it. Because I think there are fights that take place, and I think that a lot of aesthetics play into way things carry out and the final results of it. And then I think that's where, as viewing public and as viewing judges, there needs to be a gap bridge between that and a more effective way to see the fight. Because, sometimes, like I said, and I maintain this, I seen a man get drugged for the most part, commanding a fight. And Nakatani, I thought he clearly won 8 rounds. Clearly won 8 rounds. But people said, he lost the fight. And, I think that there's got to be a way where we can view it a little bit better upon initial sight.
Yeah.
And I think that the judges got to change their vantage point or be placed in a screening room. And I think they need more judges just in case somebody's on the take or doing some foul
stuff. That's a good idea. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we should definitely, that should be one of the matches that we look at and to come back and talk about it if we get the chance. Because, I don't think that every time the right decision is made. I mean, what did you think about the Maxie Hughes? I know you got to go, Kaz. I'll ask this last question and then I'll be good. Mm-hmm. The Maxie Hughes Kambosos fight. What did you think about that fight?
You know what? That's another. I haven't seen that fight yet.
No?
Oh, no? Okay, that's another fight you should look at.
I like Kambosos Jr. I mean, his fight against Lopez was was pretty masterful, you know, and he fought Lee
Yeah, that was a
Selby.
hell of a fight.
He fought Lee Selby before that, former IBF world featherweight champion, and he you know, he passed that test. So the one thing I like about Kambosos is he wanted to take the hard fights, you know, as soon as he got the title. He didn't avoid them. So
he's a warrior.
I can't comment on that one, but I did want to ask you a quick one, and I don't know what your opinions are, but Alvarez versus Golovkin won, right? And I remember watching that fight.
Canelo and Triple G.
And I thought at the time, this is my initial impression, is that Alvarez slightly edged it because of the volume of work, right?
Yeah.
Because he looked the more busier guy, and he was throwing way more punches. But then, like, after consideration, I looked at a lot of them were being blocked. Do you know what I mean? And Povetkin was landing the cleaner work. And I can see why it could be a draw, because it depends what you look at. If you like the active working guy who's got high volume and output,
it's got to be effective,
or
though.
like the guy who's landing clean, you know? It's
Right.
subjective in that way. I don't know. What did you guys think?
Well, I'm gonna let Ant go first because you ain't gonna get a more objective point of view.
I was gonna say that what he just said ties into your initial point, T Hill, which is like finding a way to be more consistent with the initial watching, because like the brother just said, the night of, it definitely looks a certain way, but then on the rewatch, you have the benefit of being able to pause and change the speed and rewind and review sequences, and just really watch it attentively. And just because when I rewatch fights, I'm like jogging through it frame by frame. Like, to use another Canelo fight, for example, the fight that he had against what the hell's my man's name? John Ryder.
John Ryder.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I know, the British guy. Yeah.
Now, I was rewatching that fight, and I was cross-referencing the punch stats. I'm looking at the CompuBox numbers, and I'm watching the fight simultaneously. And there was several rounds, round 7 in particular, where they didn't score a single jab for John Ryder. I believe they had him it was either 0 for 17 or 0 for 21 with his jab. But then I'm watching round 7, and I'm seeing this dude land jabs.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
the moment, it can be very tricky.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we got to take into consideration is we don't know what influenced the judges to make the decisions that they make.
I'll give you another example of Canelo. I watched him fight Daniel Jacobs, right? The Jacobs Canelo Alvarez fight, right? And I thought that because Canelo won the first 5 rounds, he created that impression and influence first. But I had Jacobs winning down the stretch, the last 7. That was my opinion, right? I scored it 7-5 in favor of Jacobs. But because Jacobs couldn't get started for the first 5 rounds, it looked like he was done. You know, he was dominating. But I had Jacobs edging that one. But you know, that's not how would I say? It's not a popular opinion, but like that was the way I saw it. If I went back and reviewed it, I've only watched that fight once. You know, I was impartial. I didn't care who won, but yeah, because Jacobs didn't start until, you know, after the 5th around. You got to mention
Canelo and Lara then. What about Canelo and Lara? You see that one?
I haven't.
No.
That's another one you got to watch. I think me and Ant we broke that fight down, and while I know a lot of people's contention, a lot of people's contention is that Laura won it, and I'm not mad at it, but you could see Laura slowing down.
That's what Canelo won it.
And Canelo did at the so what happened to Canelo in that fight did not happen in the fight with Crawford. Like, he slowed down considerably in the fight with Crawford. Like, after a while, after round 9, it was like he was barely throwing punches, and he was doing more like looking than he was punching. in that fight, I thought Lara was doing that to Canelo. Like he was commanding it, and then it was like, oh, I gotta hold on because this dude is putting pressure on there, and Canelo was throwing punches. Felt like if he would have done similar, they may have given him the decision against Crawford. But you know, the fact that he slowed down is clearly something different from a normal Canelo fight than what it was. Can't say that about the Lara fight because he picked up and Lara kind of tapered off. Mm-hmm. So you give room for that, like you said with Danny Jacobs.
Yeah,
you give room for it. Now Danny Jacobs this time he flipped it. He took on strong, but he started. He stood. So for me, with the Canelo Galati Golovkin, I felt like he won the first one. I thought Triple G won the first one. Okay. I thought it was a draw the second one, and I didn't even care about the third fight because it shouldn't have been second one.
Yeah.
Do you think Canelo's just got too many miles on the clock? Like, no.
Yeah. But like Ant said, you know, when you can look at it, because I remember watching the and I saw this live too, but then I rewatched it too. Mm-hmm. Now, by no stretch of the imagination did what's his name? The one guy that beat Oshaki Foster? Conceição. Yeah. In no way, shape, or form did he win the fight. But I remember them saying that he only landed 9 body shots against Shakur. In the first round, he landed 6 alone. In the very first round. Mm-hmm. The next round, he landed 3. That's 9 there. It's like sometimes they say these things on these punch stats, and that's not actually what takes place.
Yeah.
And you know, there has to be a better way for all of these people because they, in effect, are misleading the public by saying stuff like this.
Yeah.
Canelo didn't get a jab landed upon him in the 7th round, and then is seeing jab after jab after jab landing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not an aberration.
Yeah.
That has to be corrected. Because, you know, in commentary, I hate the biasness of commentary now.
That's terrible.
Gone are the days where they just call the fight.
Most people silence it and like just watch.
They got like an agenda. You can tell some of them have an agenda.
We were watching the what fight was that? Ant, me, you, and Shawa. What was that? Mm-hmm. The Fox. The Fox.
Oh, you talking about Fox and Boachuk
fight.
Yeah.
Man, Boachuk was not doing effective work. And I mean, this lady was glossing everything he was doing. Fox was controlling the fight. I felt like Fox easily won the fight. Mm-hmm. But that's not what we were told. So, you know, I mean, I think that's one of the things that they can do to give a better viewing experience. But on top of that, we need to find a better way to see things. And I think a lot of times we need to understand what a clear definition of how they scored the fight. Because if you are effective, I mean, you are aggressive. You should be effective with your aggression. Your aggression should not just look like organized confusion.
And you're getting pieced up as you being aggressive. You're getting countered and everything. That's not effective. You know? Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I love the sport. I really do love the sport. And I'm enamored with it. Sometimes the people make it a little spotty at times, man. Because you know, people, I don't know what's wrong with folk, man. You know, I'll enjoy when we have conversations with people who are objective, because you know, it makes for better conversation.
Absolutely.
And that's what this was today. This was a great conversation.
And, just in conclusion, I need to go, but thank you for having me again, gentlemen. And
anytime.
Yeah.
Come by more often. You got to get by more often.
I try. Timing, right? The UK is a time difference, and
yeah, it's like what, 12 o'clock over there now.
We're talking at half past 10 at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually been there. It was a while back.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I had a good time over there.
I've been to the States as well, man.
Beautiful,
a few times.
everything was so green and clean over there, man. It was crazy. Very, very different. I mean, you don't see no trash or nothing laying around
Oh
anywhere.
no, you ain't been to the hood, man. If you go,
No, I didn't get you the hood.
they're all the same. They're all the
I was
same.
coming from the hood, so I said when I go over there, I'm gonna stay out of the hood.
It depends where you go. There's still like discarded mattresses and dog excrement and whatever.
I was over there in 1980 when I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different times, man.
It was beautiful, man.
It's still
it rained every day.
The countryside's great. The countryside's
It rained
great.
every day. It still rained like that over there. God damn! I was like, this is a rainy place, man.
Do the people still drive Peugeots?
Yeah. It's a French car, man. That's a French car, the Peugeot. Yeah.
You still got those roundabout things over there?
Yeah, still got the roundabouts.
I got on one. I just kept going around. I didn't even know how to get off, man. Wow. It took me a minute. I finally followed somebody off.
Hey, that was on the European vacation, National Lampoon.
I just kept going, man.
Hey, but if you can,
it did be on a different side of the road, too. That didn't help.
Kung, have you ever been to Casual's Corner?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, we got to put that link in there for you to go in there. We did some of the breakdowns up in there, and
sure, yes.
Some interesting shows, man, just to show you how we look at fights, man.
Leave it in the comments for me. Leave it in the comments of Kaz's show.
In the thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I've got to go, gents, and my phone battery's running out. So
okay.
Once again, all the best and God bless. Okay, take care.
Okay. All right, then. Have a good one, Kung.
Bye.
Okay, see you. Oh yeah, that's gonna be it, gentlemen.
All right then, Kaz, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate Ant for sure. Coming up here in Linden.
And have Ant McQueen up here.
Yeah, man. It's always a blessing when you get Ant McQueen on the panel, man.
For sure.
And shout out to the brothers from over the pond, man. They came over there and cooked with us.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's some good knowledge, good information. I was listening. Yeah. That's about a couple of their fighters and stuff, Yeah. It's okay, yeah. Tomorrow is going to be boxing in the 1920s. Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to do a show on Cornerman.
Monday.
Right?
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah,
I had
Monday.
this thing mapped out when you told me,
Yeah, that's going to be, hopefully Ant come back again, because, he done read that book, so you can add a little bit of perspective to it, too, as well. That would be nice.
Yeah.
If he can find the time. Yeah. But yeah, man, a very good show today. A very good conversation, dialogue, and we got a little perspective from across the way.
Yeah.
Cash Force is universal out there. He global.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So with that, I'll go on and give my last words, man. Shout out to Phil Johns for pulling up. Shout out to Kung Kao pulling up. The brothers from over across the pond. The ubiquitous and loquacious one, Ant McQueen. Always mad respect to that brother Al Booger, the prototype professor. Shout out to Drunken Irishman. Fantastic channel that he has over that way. Gives you perspective in a short format. You will love it. Mike Mazik, the champ, Just Do Boxing, where you can always find boxing getting its just due. You can always find Ant McQueen every now and again gracing that panel over there. And that brother comes and gives you his passion too. So shout out to that brother. He is on right now. If you like, you can mosey your way over to Just Do Boxing. Participate there. Got Mike Rim. We got Game All Night. That must be one of Kaz's relatives.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, we game all night over where he from. And shout out to that brother for gaming all night. The better half. Miss Victoria, aka Mrs. Kaz. Shout out to you guys that's viewing right now and didn't even comment, but are just peeking in at the material. My man Cass is here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He comes and gives you everything that we can discuss in the sport of boxing and then some. And we'd like for you to like, comment, and subscribe. And enjoy the experience here. And shout out to my main man, Aunt McQueen, a.k.a. Breakdown Shorty. The man's so nice with it that you got to view it twice. And on that note, we up out of here. Well, at least I am. Have a great day, Kaz, man. Appreciate you opening up the panel for us.
Appreciate you, T Hill.
Man, appreciate you.
Right.
It was just good commentary today.
Yes, sir. Always. I guess we out there. That was Thomas Hill, Aunt McQueen. Everybody have a good one.